Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Howdy.
Hey, how's it going? We're back. It's time for more PS Triple Madness over here.
Yep. I saw some people talking in the chat. We wanted to clarify that this is not a replacement for any kind of episode. We did a stream last week on Digital Foundry with John and Audie, and this is just like our little counterpart stream, I guess, to that. So,
yeah, we are planning to do a. I do have to say I'm not a huge fan of the title that is written on this stream. Games still worth playing. I mean, I feel like that's a slight at the system. I feel like that is not in the spirit of people who play retro games all the time, because
that's right.
Good games are always worth playing.
I will say though, for those wondering, Audie Surly was supposed to be here as well, but, and I quote, he ate some funky eggs and taking some funky dumps. So things are.
I think it was those.
Things are flowing freely.
I think it was some of those bad ROMs on Sunday.
Oh no, I heard about those.
Some of those bad ROM dumps. He's taking some bad ROM dumps, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, taking some bad ROM dumps. He should have got the no intro set there, I guess. The no intro eggs.
There was already a super chat from Chris Fratz saying, since I don't have the money for a Super NT anyway, I might as well toss the money over to you guys. Well, thank you. That's I don't know. Has the Super NT new orders gone up already?
They have, and apparently there's some issues with the order process right now.
Oh, really?
This game's $100. People are more than $100 now.
Really?
Wait,
I mean, I got it day one.
That's what a Extradillo 99 is saying. I'm just skipping.
There was also a €1 from Daniel Black with no comment, but thank you. Yeah, I got this day one. You know, I really want to replay this because you know, I liked it at the time, but I think I was this came out at a time when I was, you know, I still am, you know, very into, you know, sort of very hardcore NES style platformers and stuff, and I was, you know, looking for a good challenge and stuff like that in my platformers, and this, you know, is much more of a, you know, narrative and visual experience, I guess.
It is, yeah.
And so I liked it, but I didn't love it, and I think I would appreciate it a lot more now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably blew it off at the time because it looked like it looked too similar to Little Big Planet.
By the way, Corey, did you want to turn on the sound for the game?
Yeah, it should be on. I mean, I
don't hear anything.
I can't send you guys sound.
Oh,
sorry.
That's why. Okay.
Because I'm using a physical mixer instead of.
I see. So everybody's hearing it then. It's just not us. But either way, yes, this game is awesome. Actually, you know what? This game holds special meaning to me as well, because the demo version of Puppeteer is the very first thing I ever did for Digital Foundry.
Really?
Huh.
So that was because I love the demo, I was excited for the game, and that was the first thing I ever did.
That's so cool.
So it was pretty interesting, I'd say. It was a lot of fun.
I mean, they were able to just because of the way that, you know, everything is presented as like this set, they're able to do so much with every scene, I feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's from a gameplay perspective. I mean, it's kind of like Little Big Planet, but it's a much more, you know, curated design experience.
Right, buddy.
I remember the Moon Bear King from this.
Let's keep looking.
The Moon Bear King.
Did we have some other super chats in there?
I did see a couple. I can bring up the Streamlabs in case there's something that I missed.
Oh yeah, there was.
Troy, are you on a computer right now?
Yeah.
Can you tweet that the stream is actually live? I did a preview
okay.
for it earlier, but
It might be easier to do on my phone.
yeah, or you can just like you could even just retweet it probably.
There was €5 from Ivan Andrus saying, "Would you trade a PS5 for a Sputnik 5?"
Maybe not the spot. I don't know. Maybe I would trade it for one of the other ones though.
Keep your eyes peeled for immune sparkles.
So I can always get another
if you want to
PS5.
stay alive.
It'd be good to have an excuse to be like, I can't cover this right now. I don't have one.
Exactly.
Look
I love the spider puppet head you have there.
every head.
Yeah,
I think is amazing. Gosh, look how good this game looks still. I just can't get over how awesome this looks. Like, it's a shame that it never got like a 60 frames per second release on like PS4 or something.
The right head.
But even still, like this, like it is just unbelievably beautiful.
oh, you can use the head.
And
action.
you know what? This makes me really sad coming off of all that stuff that was been talked about again today and recently about the restructuring within Sony. It's like they're basically setting themselves up so that a game like this will never exist again from them.
I know it's really sad because, like I've said before, but like Japan Studio has this like Nintendo level of polish to their games that's just so good. Like, I know people like, beat up on Knack, but those are well-made little games.
Yeah. And looking in the chat, it's like, you know what? I would take the Sputnik 5 as well. Nothing against it. It's just if I have to give up the PS5, I'm a little
What is a
pickier,
Sputnik 5? I don't know what that is.
That's the Russian vaccine.
Oh.
So I like that name though. But
What do I gotta do
yeah, I
here?
would totally get rid of my PS5 for one of those.
Pass through that shimmering
No,
gateway
man.
to proceed to the back
Look
of
at
the
that.
jungle.
Just
Make no mistake.
this is
It's clear they had a lot of fun making this.
yeah, and like the way they do those transitions there, like how all the objects have like the physics going on, and so it looks like everything kind of slams together. It's so cool. I mean, what an amazing visual design. This game is just top tier. And this holds up really well.
Yeah, it's
For a game that's 2 generations old, like this looks better than a great number of games on the Switch, and honestly, PS4 and and Xbox One as well. If I'm honest, this is a really good looking game.
How many different like heads were there? That was a mechanic I kind of forgot about, to be honest.
yeah, same here.
What other game? There's something I was just thinking about. Games where you swap.
Well, Balan Wonderworld.
That's what. Yeah, of course. Right.
You talked me into
That's
it.
why.
That's coming from Best Buy today.
Dude, yeah.
And then
I want to do a stream where I show it to Try and like try to talk about it with him.
Ooh, I got a hamburger head.
Even though the fact that I've professed that I like that game has gotten me some annoying heat. People are,
Really?
You're the guy that likes that horrible game. It's like, so you have zero taste. And I'm like, okay, well, I'd rather be that guy than the guy who likes Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But, it's like, but
Okay, here we go.
That is so annoying. Like people like take one game that you like and they're like, well, you have no taste. That's so annoying. People do that all the time.
And
bizarre.
people are allowed to like what they like.
Yeah,
Exactly. I admit I have some weird tastes in some types of the games that I enjoy.
mean,
So
I mean, in my opinion, like people should be like disappointed that they don't like a game themselves, because it's like,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
missing something that someone likes. Like I wish I could like that too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same. When like a big like new fighting game or whatever comes out, like I don't really get much enjoyment out of
Dude.
fighting games, but I always feel like I see people like hyped up for it, and I'm like, oh, like I wish I could feel this too, but I don't.
see, it's like that for me with I guess most recently something like Animal Crossing. Like I look at that, I don't like Animal Crossing at all, even though it's very clearly a fantastic product. But I feel like I'm missing out on something there.
Yeah.
But every time I try it, I don't know. I can't get it. There's something there that doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
feel
I
very
wish
similar.
I loved it.
I mean, like in the here and now, Monster Hunter is like that. Everyone's playing Monster Hunter. I've kind of been talked into Rise. I think after I finish Bravely Default 2, I'm going to pick up Monster Hunter Rise. But I'm like all nervous. I'm going like, once again, I'm just going to be like, this just isn't clicking with me. But it looks so much better than the other ones.
I have to tell you that I have that same problem. I like Rise.
I know. We've talked about this.
I like it. I think it's a good game, and I have played it. But just like the other ones, I never really truly clicked with me in a way where I'm like, this is amazing. It's just like, this is cool.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. I wish I loved it more.
I know. Like I kind of want to give it a try again, just because it seems like this is like the closest that it's been to something that looks like something I would get into, and like I'm worried. Like I don't know. Like maybe I just don't know if
maybe
it's
so.
I just don't know. Like so I'm still on the fence, but I'm thinking about it.
Maybe you can tell me this, Troy. Somebody in the comments said this as well. Like that Balan Wonderworld's mechanics are baffling. What is baffling about them?
It's a one-button game.
What's baffling about that?
The one thing that baffled me when I played the demo was I was like, wait, how do I go back in the menu? Because
but
every button is confirmed. You
don't go to the menu that often, so it's not a huge deal.
Right. So that confused me at first, but then I was like, oh, it's a one-button game, which I can totally respect. I mean, I think games these days have too many functions just because there's buttons to put functions on. That's one reason I like NES games so much is I feel like the limited number of buttons encouraged the development of more streamlined game design. More, they thought about like, okay, what do we really need, or what functions work well with our limitations. That's the kind of game design that I like. So I do like the simplified nature of it. But the Balan Wonderworld demo for me, it just seemed janky. It just seemed like there wasn't anything interesting going on from a gameplay perspective other than just pure exploration. But I mean, you've been talking about how once you play the real actual game that you're finding it compelling in a way that the demo doesn't really convey.
Yeah, I mean, it's ultimately a game. It is about exploration and using those different powers you get, and it has that thing where you want to revisit levels and explore these different worlds using all these different suits to essentially like find just like you discover so much more about the levels when you go back. Like what seems like in one level when you first play it, you go back and realize there's all these other areas that you could have gone.
My burger head there.
And like
I got that burger.
You were saying like sometimes like when you go back with other suits or whatever, it's like, oh, like it almost feels like I'm not even supposed to get here, but I can. Right.
And somebody saying on Giant Bomb, they were saying about how abilities have restrictions designed to counter experimentation. It's like, no, that's not it at all. Like those restrictions are key to making it so that you actually have to think about which suits you're wearing and what you're trying to do at any point in the game. And I'm utterly baffled that people find that baffling.
People don't like limitations in games.
I get this feeling. Yeah, that's the feeling I get, and
that's
I think
weird because like you have to have limitations for interesting design.
Exactly. Like I don't understand. Like if you could just do anything all the time, then that wouldn't be interesting there. Like,
that's probably why a lot of people just don't really take to retro games, because they're just like, well, there's less you can do with these games or this hardware, like, but to me the limitations are what make it interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like that kind of stuff. I think that's it's kind of engaging to figure that stuff out. Like, not to say that the game is perfect or anything, because it's certainly not, but I think it's a very solid B tier platform game, and it's got a really cool aesthetic, and the sound design is excellent. And it's a lot of fun. And thankfully, it does play faster than that demo. The demo,
yeah, because the running,
slow.
the movement in that was one of that was definitely felt like a sort of a technical issue where it was just like the run animation did not feel correct with the way that the character was moving. It seemed out of sync with
exactly. And the movement was slow. And also, people always say, you hear like the costumes that don't allow jumping. There's like 80 costumes in here, and maybe like 6 of them don't allow jumping. But it's okay because you can swap to anything else that has jumping, and those suits then have their own special function that's unique.
Well, I mean, people...
So you don't need to jump all the time.
I mean, you know, you compare Bionic Commando to Bionic Commando Rearmed 2. I mean, jumping, I think, takes away what is unique from Bionic Commando.
Exactly. Sometimes because there were people that did complain about that. Like, oh, I want to jump, and then they added it, and it breaks the game. It's worse.
Let me catch up on Super Chats a bit.
Hang on a second.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You do that. Give me a second, okay?
Okay. There was $5 from James Thomas saying, perfect stream today. My 2 terabyte SSD for my PS3 is getting here. Managed to swoop a Super NT this morning as well. Perfect day so far. Dang,
wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I just saw from a friend of mine as well who just managed to get one, which is cool. So it sounds like it was difficult to order one, but people are getting them, so that's great.
It's good. Yeah. I mean, I use my Super NT quite a bit.
Hang on. I just like.
Uh-oh.
What's going on?
A little bit on my keyboard here.
What happened?
Oh no, he spilled liquid on the keyboard.
I did.
Oh, on your open box mechanical keyboard.
See, here's the thing. I'm expecting Corey to like zap out of the frame and like end up in the game now.
Not only that, but I mean, it's not like it's water. Gosh darn it.
What was it?
It's Diet Coke.
Oh no!
I know, right? But luckily, I think these mechanical keyboards are made to be like to come apart really easily, so you can.
Yeah. I have this one. I don't know where you can see it on camera, but it's like this really thin aluminum slab, and like all the keys kind of sit on top like that, which is kind of fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was not even thinking about getting a mechanical keyboard until recently, and then I messed with one at Target. I'm like, this is actually a lot better than I remember it being, and I've liked it a lot since having it. But this is like,
and now there's Diet Coke.
There's Diet Coke in it. But
and I love how it says intermission in the game. Maybe we should continue the super chats.
Yeah, continue that.
Yeah. There was 2790 reals from Zany Shelley. Thank you. Saying, awesome, ready for some MLiG and DF Retro stream for a Friday afternoon of working from home. You guys rock.
All
Jim
right.
Ryan sucks.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Heck yeah.
It wasn't very much they got in here, at least, but at least I can take it apart.
Well, hopefully you can take the keys off where it got and kind of clean them up later.
I mean, that would be stupid if they made it so that you couldn't do that with this.
You can usually take keys off.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
replace it and stuff, yeah.
Where's our boy Yo-Yo Yoshio at? Is he here yet?
There was $2 from Chris Fratz saying there are still people that like Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
You know, it really surprised me in a way that Ubisoft continued that series into this generation. I
think it's important to note that when you talk, there's basically 2 Assassin's Creed series, almost, right? Mm-hmm. Because ever since Origins, the entire game is so different that it's basically a new series.
Really?
The older ones were about exploring a city environment, and they definitely had some open world issues as well, but there was something more engaging there. But the last 3 have become these like obscenely large, like open world for the sake of being open world kind of games, at least for me personally, where there's just so much there. So much downtime just spent going between places, and it just I find them unbelievably tedious, and there's no challenge to it. There's never any interesting gameplay ideas. It's just like I don't know, man.
It's just checking off the markers.
But what's sad is that there's so much talent and that team. They've pulled off such amazing technologies. The game looks amazing. You know, there's great stuff in there, and the story has potential, but it's so spread out just for the stupid checklist stuff.
I mean, I
kills it.
lost interest in the series after. I mean, you know, Assassin's Creed 3, like, you know, you had the Nolan North character who it felt like it was like leading up to this big finale, and like it really didn't feel like the end of that storyline amounted to much of anything. And then I played Black Flag, which was it kind of felt like, well, this is, I think, is about as good as the series can get, and like I was just like, but you know, these games are okay, but I don't like absolutely love them, so I think I'm done, and I haven't played them since. So
you made the right call.
There was we got a Triangle in here. Who was in the stream on the DF channel last week, saying this game looks literally tasty.
Yeah, the burger head.
The colors especially. The burger head is great.
There was 999 from the Polyester Pimp, who I think was also in the DF stream, saying, "Do you think
that's a good name?
It really is.
Do you think Sony should make a more expensive, full backwards compatible PS6 instead of a cheaper discless version? Also, shout out to my college art teacher for giving me Flipnik for Minority Report." Not exactly sure what.
Dude, wait. You don't know what Flipnik is?
No.
You.
No, I don't.
Are you kidding me? I don't know what it is either.
Are you kidding me? Wait, really?
No, I don't.
Dude, Flipnik Ultimate Pinball is one of the coolest pinball games ever made. It is basically adventure pinball. Audie can attest to this. I think I showed it to him as well for the first time, and we played this together. And I think just like what these tables, like imagine like these tables, like all these little like biomes suspended in space with crazy 3D rails everywhere, and just an absolutely amazing presentation. And it's like all these challenges where it's like you'll go to this one place to like open up another place, which then and it starts out in a jungle, and then it like you cause the ice age to happen, and then it freezes over, and then you have to climb up a frozen waterfall with your ball, and it's just like to get to the end. It's so wild. It's really good.
I recently got. I haven't played through it, but I played the demo, and that's what sold me out. Was oh shoot, what's it called? I'm drawing a blank on the name. There's like a current gen game that's a pinball adventure. Yoku's Island Express?
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
That seems really good.
Apparently, it's like a Metroidvania
pinball game.
Yeah.
It's and it looks like absolutely gorgeous on Switch. I don't know what it has to do with Minority Report though.
I think they traded it. Either way, try.
They
seriously hunt down Flipnik Ultimate Pinball.
What system's it for?
It's for PlayStation 2.
Interesting.
It's an enjoyable, simple action, amazing pinball game for you.
Is it released in all regions?
Yes.
Interesting.
Man, I'm excited that you haven't played Flipnik because it's.
No, I was completely unfamiliar with it. But as for the backwards compatible PS6, I mean, obviously they should. I don't think it'll happen. I mean, that would be a nice replacement. I would pay extra for like a full backwards compatible system. But I don't think it should be necessary though.
Yeah, I don't know. Backwards compatibility is kind of it's a curious thing.
I mean, it's like I would pay extra for it, but at the end of the day, I probably would still play the games on the original systems. Unless they had backwards compatibility that was like on Microsoft's level. Where
it's pretty much like the 360 generation upwards, where I think it makes sense. Because even like I actually don't like original Xbox games much on Xbox, on the newer Xboxes.
Really?
So the problem, well, some of them, Panzer Dragoon's great, but the problem is a lot of them have very low res, like 2D artwork throughout. That's always stretched and horribly filtered, and you have this weird mismatch that always bothered me somehow.
I mean, I have not spent a ton of time with them, but I mean, I've been very impressed with what I've seen so far. There was 100, I believe, rubles again from Triangle saying with a statement I fully agree with. Reject keyboards, embrace controllers with two buttons.
I'm right there.
Yes.
I'm all about it. You know,
I'm gonna wave right there.
keyboards to me are a tool. I can acknowledge the validity of the argument that, you know, aiming with a mouse is more accurate. I don't really care because I'd rather have comfort than like accuracy. So I'd rather play a shooter or whatever with a controller, sitting on my couch, looking at a big TV. I just prefer that rather than sitting at a desk and playing. But I just do not understand where I mean,
I'm playing
cool on
for
you
who's asking. Just
if you're used to it, but like keyboards, like I just don't see the argument for that being a superior input method from a controller, especially because I mean you don't have a left analog stick. You know, character movement is not going to be as precise without that. And you know, when I was going through a phase of PC gaming, like, you know, a decade ago, I actually got a PlayStation Move Navigator controller. Before I had like even a PlayStation Move for any other purpose, and I used it with my computer to basically replace, you know, the WASD or whatever however people say that out loud, and the other, you know, the other keyboard functions. I used that, even though it wasn't true analog control, but to me it was just more comfortable than using a keyboard. But, you know, there is something to be said for people, you know, just being used to it, just like people are just used to playing Smash with a GameCube controller. And, you know, I do think GameCube controller is one of the best controllers ever made, but I've never really understood the argument that it's better for Smash other than that's what people are used to. But
yeah, I suspect that's right.
There was $2 from a dozen gamers saying, all aboard the donation train for Corey's keyboard. Yeah. He might he might need to spend some money on a replacement.
No, it seems like it's gonna be all right. I literally just got it like less than a month ago, so hopefully I don't need. I mean,
it wasn't a discount price though, wasn't it?
No. Well, I mean, it was. Oh, it was
really?
off, but I mean, it was just like a Logitech one.
I thought you got it like an open box store or something like that.
Oh no. I've gotten other things at an open box store, like furniture and stuff, but not
the PS.
That was like where you got your new B-roll table.
Yes.
There was $20 from For the Love of the Game. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For the love of the game.
Saying, I find retro game tech more interesting too. You want a reflection in a modern game? Set reflections equals 1. Reflections in a Saturn game? Infinite planes with weird per pixel distortions and scrolling scanline palette switching.
Yeah. I agree. Retro tech is very fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, every game and every system is so different, and how they achieve.
It's bespoke.
Different, yeah. Bespoke. That was a word that I learned from Digital Foundry.
Oh yes. It shows up often.
Well, I mean, it's more of a British word I've come to learn.
I gotta hold it down.
Yeah.
No.
That's one of my favorites. I never actually conquered this, but whenever I turn in writing to Richard for editing, he always has to Britishize it. And I probably should have been doing that myself, but I can't, like, somehow. Gotta spell color correctly, and there's a bunch of. It's really interesting.
Oh, speaking of which, let me see if I can find the link. You know, I actually have not read through the entirety of this article, so I don't know if it was Britishified, but we did. If you go to here, I'm going to paste the link in the chat here.
All right.
Wireframe.raspberry Pi Wait, I'm not signed in actually, so never mind. But if you go to wireframe.raspberrypi.org, or you just Google for Wireframe magazine and download the latest issue 49, I wrote an article in there about connecting old game consoles to modern TVs, and it's I think a lot of our regular audience would really enjoy reading it because it gets into it's kind of an introduction to the subject, starting from a different point than we did when we did some of our earlier introduction videos, so it's got stuff on RetroTink and GBSC and that kind of stuff in it. So it was fun to write, and I think it would be a good read for people if they want to go check that out. I mean, you can get a subscription to the magazine, but you can download the PDF for free and just see it if you go to Wireframe magazine website. But anyway,
and we're also John, you're also doing something for the Lock On Volume 1. So are we, which was successful in their Kickstarter.
I think that's super cool, actually. Yeah, I love old magazines, and so I think it's fun to do. Retro Gamer's been doing good stuff on there already, and it's good to have another one hopping into the ring, and I really hope that they are successful. But it seems like they're reaching out to a lot of folks to get the right people involved.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But yeah, I need to actually read through the Wireframe article because I was curious if it would be Britishified or not. But I thought it was really cool that of all people, a magazine owned by Raspberry Pi Foundation asked us to write an article about original hardware. I thought that was really cool. It was a fun challenge. The one thing that someone in our Discord pointed out was that there's a table, like a box where there was the section on SCART was kind of jammed into the text of the S video section instead of by accident, instead of getting its own section in the table. But not a big deal.
I just want to say that this level, it's just the cutting mechanic is so cool. Just
it feels amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's so fun.
What button do you use to do it?
It's probably square.
Square, yeah. But I like that you can pick up speed doing it. It's just been a long time since I played this.
Yeah, it
looks
really
fantastic.
It really keeps
wasn't it a
going.
budget game? Wasn't it
no,
like a $40 game?
I think most of I don't know. It may have been $39.99.
I feel like it was a $40 game. I don't think it was a $60 game.
But it was probably a full price game over here.
Let me. Oh, were you already in Europe?
Yeah, I have the PAL version. Yeah. Well, there is actually no real PAL version anymore because these are all HD, so they're the same.
I'm going to search for it on my Amazon orders because I'm pretty sure I ordered it on. Amazon. Here we go. Ordered on September 8th, 2013. View order details.
At a price of
$39.99.
All right.
Might want to.
Oh man, this was before I had to pay sales tax on Amazon, so it was just straight up $39.99, no tax, no shipping.
I think we're way behind.
Yeah, we are. I
just don't want them to get lost. I mean, I can look them up via the Streamlabs.
Yep. I'm going to catch up. Here we go.
I found my Puppeteer one as well.
Oh.
Go ahead.
There's $2 from Michael V. Thank you. Saying, which console are you going to get Saga Frontier on? I went ahead and pre-ordered it for Switch because apparently there was going to be a PS4 physical, but then it was canceled. The only physical, I believe, is going to be Switch. So I would get it for PS4 just because it kind of makes sense to play it as a PlayStation game, I suppose. But I'm going to get it for Switch. Although, to be honest, once I actually get around to playing the game, a couple of years ago, I did get a PS1 version of that. I really don't know if I'm going to play the original version or the remaster. I guess it depends on how happy I am with how the remaster looks once I have it in my hands.
real quick, I will say I got my price. It was 34 euros for Puppeteer.
Oh, okay. So pretty good.
Yeah, and I ordered it at the same time as Killzone Mercenary for the Vita, it seems,
Oh,
which
wow.
is 35. So those were ordered together on Amazon.fr.
Oh yeah, you were in France at the time.
Yeah. What else
There
did I order
was-
back then? Oh, my Xbox One edition day one from December 23rd, 2013. But my PS4 came from the US, so
There was 200 rubles from Triangle again,
Thank you.
saying
Triangle.
saying you want a reflection in a modern game, calculate visibility for
Right.
another camera, fix post-processing effects, calculating world position, ride TAA
No.
velocities using a different
Oh.
matrix, etc., etc.
That's
I mean, it certainly is complicated.
There, well,
but-
there's a lot of ways to do reflection for sure, but yes, I guess that's the thing is when the previous guy said, "Oh, you just do this simple thing," and that's only possible because somebody would have already written the technique for it, like in a middleware engine or
Right,
something. If
right,
you're using like
and-
Unreal Engine, then yeah, it's pretty easy to turn on reflections. But if you have to write all the code yourself, there's obviously a lot more to it.
Yeah, I mean and you know, the way that it functions is relatively similar between platforms as well.
Yes, exactly. They are
Whereas
using,
I think what the previous commenter was getting at was, you know, you have to kind of have a bespoke
Customized.
technique per platform.
exactly.
Yeah, wow, we really did get a lot of super chats all of a sudden. We were almost caught up, and now we are not. There was £5 from Mr. Onion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Saying I would have bought the PS5 if it would have been backwards compatible with the PS2. Not so much for the PS3 or PS1 as they are weird to emulate. I mean, yeah. I mean, it would be nice if they would do that. I mean, they absolutely could if they wanted to, but it just seems like the current Sony leadership has very little interest in putting value on their older games.
Yep, I don't think that they really care right now, and I don't know enough about the company structure to say, but I do feel like Jim Ryan is basically Sony's Don Matrick, and that's how he's going to be looked back upon.
Yeah.
It's that same kind of guy that has these is super corporate and wants to do
Yeah.
things a very specific way, and we're going to see how it goes. I hope it doesn't, because Don Matrick did a lot of damage with the direction of Xbox, and it took
Yeah.
a long time to push it back in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna
it's.
switch to
I mean,
something else.
and
Yeah,
the
go for
closing of Japan studio is just like the latest thing that's just so
Oh,
concerning.
that's terrible.
mean,
that's very frustrating.
I right now the PS5 is off to a solid start, but there's like kind of little red flags like that make me worried.
Same.
There was $10 from Sonic X9. Thank you. Saying the Nintendo Switch port of Samurai Showdown 2019 is a very impressive 60 FPS target UE4 coming from the awful Switch port of SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. Are you familiar with these ports? Have you got direct experience with them, John?
Well, Tag Team Frenzy came out earlier on and was like a 30 frames per second fighting game on the Switch. And I think that was Unreal Engine 4, and it was a pretty bad showing. But then, I haven't actually seen Samurai Showdown on the Switch yet, but that's great if it's actually a 60 FPS target.
The new game is the 2019 game is pretty well regarded, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah,
And
it's
there's
really
a
good.
Xbox Series X version that's like a complete edition
Yep.
that's out.
And it's 120 frames per second too,
Wow.
which is great.
So I put in Killzone 3. I never played this.
Really? Okay.
So,
this game is beautiful visually.
I figured it was kind of a interesting late generation game to put in here. I mean, maybe it wasn't
I,
that late, but I don't know. I
It
played the
was.
first
It
one,
was-
but I haven't played this one.
I played the demo of, I think it was 2, and then I got Shadowfall at PS4 launch, and I did not enjoy what I played of either of them.
People did not seem to love Shadowfall, but I think it's actually a good game.
I felt something about, I don't remember specifically what my complaint was, but I felt like the way that event triggers worked in those games really bothered me. Like it felt like it felt like something I did should have been the action that moved forward, the team to open up the door or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it just felt like something about the ordering of event triggers was
Shadowfall's
wrong,
a
and
lot
it really
different from
irritated
that, though, because it's a little bit more open. The good thing about Shadowfall, though, is if you play it on a PS5, it's finally a locked 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
There was a this is a new one. This was 10 pounds from Simon Etheridge. Thank you. Saying just got home from work and saw you guys were streaming. Happy days. Just the thing to cheer me up after missing out on my Super NT. Due to the alerts going to my email junk folder. That is very unfortunate. We had heard that people were having trouble with that, but yeah, we're glad that you got to join on the stream. It's fun to do these afternoon streams every once in a while because there are people in Europe who sometimes do appear in our Sunday night streams, but in general, it's a little not exactly the ideal time for people in Europe. So we're always glad to see you guys here on these afternoon streams.
Yeah, definitely.
There was $5 from David saying, "DF love, keep up the passions."
Oh, thank you, David.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
This is really good looking.
Isn't it?
I mean, I know
stunning,
I'm looking
right?
at it in a small window, but it is, yeah.
It's amazing, right? Like, it's kind of like, wow, they were doing this on the PS3?
Speaking of Gorilla, like, do you think, I mean, I feel like
they won't come back to this after, I think Horizon, they're probably not going to come back to this series now.
No, probably not.
But I was going to say, like, I feel like a 60 FPS patch for Zero Dawn, like, has to be a shoe, right?
I don't know. So that game is weirdly optimized, at least, and based on the PC version, at least. The PC version is weirdly demanding. It's very tough to get to 60 frames per second. So I feel like there might be some kind of issues that they'll face. Like, I don't know.
Because I've been debating whether to hold off on playing through it, because I still haven't played through it. I mean, I've had it for a few years, but I still haven't played it. So
I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, maybe I'd wait a little bit longer just to see.
I mean, doesn't it have like a pretty good like motion blur implementation? So like, I mean, it's pretty good looking at 30 if I recall from the little I played of it.
Oh, it's very smooth in that. But yeah, just look at this Killzone stuff, man. Like, this is the thing about the PS3 generation is like some of these developers were really pushing boundaries on this system.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Killzone probably got a bad name early on because they came out with that unbelievable demo. And then you didn't see or hear anything. Or an unbelievable demo for Killzone 2. That there's no way that was going to be real. And then when they finally did release the game, it was fairly close.
So it was just very different. That's the thing. Because it was just straight up CGI, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, they've talked about this before. That trailer was not intended to be shown in that capacity.
Oh, really?
Like, no, like that was an internal trailer meant to show concepts they had for it, right? And then they ended up putting it up on stage. And as I understand, like, when the guys at Guerrilla were watching the E3 conference and that came on, I think they all like kind of freaked out because they're like, wait a second, like we don't have
this is
anything
impossible
like that yet. Like what are you guys doing? And I feel like it was a similar thing with the Motorstorm trailer as well, where that was meant to be a conceptual thing. And I think if I recall, what I heard was like, you know, they had that trailer that showed up, and the guys that were working on the game were like, "Oh, geez, we barely have like white boxes going around the track. People are expecting this," and it's just like, you know,
it ended up being a gorgeous game, though.
They're both gorgeous in the end, yeah.
There was $5 from the Land of Obscusion. Saying your feelings on the codes to unlock complete Time Splitters 2 and Homefront the Revolution. The codes literally just got published not long ago. Yeah, Corey linked me at something about, but I didn't fully understand the details.
Okay, so this is great. So Matt Phillips, the guy who did Tanglewood, very nice guy. I love Matt. He's a good dude. So before he did Tanglewood and all that, he actually he's worked at various developers over the years. A very good programmer, but he did spend some time working with Free Radical when they had become Crytek UK, I guess. So he worked on Homefront: The Revolution.
What weapon I'm looking for?
So
Where is it?
he included essentially you could use an arcade machine and play like some levels from Time Splitters 2, and they were rendered in like high res, and I think they're like native 4K on like Xbox One X or something.
Oh my gosh.
So you get like 4K 60 version of Time Splitters 2, but it turns out he actually had hid the entire game in there. So it wasn't just the demo levels, like the whole game was in there, and apparently even you could link together like those virtual arcade machines and play multiplayer. Something you couldn't actually do in the game, but it was something that he kind of programmed in.
Wow.
As far as I understand. But apparently, like, and he mentioned this recently on like kind of fun Easter eggs that were hidden in games that people had worked on, and had like lost the codes to like unlock it or something. And it sounds like they've been found, and people have unlocked the whole game in there.
Oh wow. So I mean, you can do it without any weirdness. You just enter a code in the game itself.
That's what I need to check. I don't know the details yet, but it sounds like it.
Yeah,
if that's the case, that means we basically have a 4K 60 remaster of Time Splitters 2 in there.
Which is, I mean, one of the
Better get the game. It's probably gonna go up in price
shooters
now.
ever made.
And that was kind of a big flop, wasn't it?
Yeah, I actually don't mind that game. I played it. It's not bad.
Yeah,
It was
I mean,
very glitchy at first, but it's solid on Xbox One X and presumably Series X.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I didn't know that there was like a cover mechanic.
I
That's
definitely
cool.
need to be looking to pick up that game because I love Time Splitters 2. Is insanely good. There was $5 from Paul Sutton saying I'd be chuffed to bits to learn John's favorite color. Gray doesn't count.
Probably like a deep blue color.
I know me and Corey are green.
Yeah, I also like Midnight Blue a lot. Based on, you know, I used to always play as Midnight Blue Ken in Street Fighter 2, and now I got a Midnight Blue PS4 controller.
Ooh, Midnight Blue.
I've kind of been liking. I've kind of been into orange as like kind of a more vintage kind of color lately. I got an orange, a used orange couch for my retro room upstairs that you know, I think fits in pretty nicely
It's all
there.
the way retro.
I wish I had a Spice GameCube controller. I really do.
Oh, I love the Spice Orange Cube. And I have a Spice Orange Cube and a Spice Orange GBA with an enhanced LCD in it. No, wait, the Spice Orange one's the one with the AGS 101 screen in it. And then I have another one that has an IPS screen in it. Those are good.
There was a 100, I believe, Swedish bucks from Nolasco.
Ooh, Swedish
Thank you.
bucks.
Saying, just ordered Flipnik as fast as I could before the prices go up. Thanks to your awesome stream. Thanks, boys, and be safe. I mean, is it a pretty cheap game?
I think it's pretty cheap. I don't think it was ever super expensive. So. Let me check real quick. Oh yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So.
Before I forget, there was a non-super chat donation from Sigint Streams for $3. Thank you. Saying,
cool.
Kind of disheartened with the PS Vita store closing down. It's a great system for emulating older systems by far, even more so than any cheap retro handhelds. But going forward, the games on the Vita are not getting the emulation love treatment. Yeah, it's too bad that, I mean, I feel pretty happy, you know, with my my sharp scale PS TV at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna work on maybe getting a Vita and a PS TV hacked pretty soon. I was going to do it the other day, but I was just way too tired, and I was afraid that I was going to screw up. Just because of how unreliable the proprietary official memory cards are, I feel like I have to have a backup way to play those games on using either the Vita to the micro SD to Vita game card adapters, or the USB external storage on PS TV, just because it's more reliable. And those I've had a lot of trouble with those, a lot of trouble with the official memory cards. It's very unfortunate.
You get some changing perspective here.
Are you playing as the bad guys right now?
I was, yeah.
Well, he started out, actually, yeah. And
The Hellgast, is that what they're called?
Yeah, they're pretty creepy looking. I think, like the sound of their voice and stuff is pretty.
Aren't they like humans that went to another planet and they like went on like a separate like evolution branch or something like that?
something like, yeah. But Corey, that villain that was just in that cutscene with the enemies there, he's actually played by Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah. So it's a pretty cool.
I like that there's a cover system in this. That is kind of unique for a first.
It's still unique, actually.
Yeah,
it's uncommon. By the way, this game can be played. It can be played in 3D and with the Move controller. And I actually, at the time, I played this with my HMZ T1, the Sony 3D headset with the 2 OLED screens in it, in 3D, using the Move. So I actually did the thing, and it's you look so stupid when you do it, but it felt cool. In a time before VR, it felt suitably close to what VR kind of would be, and it was neat.
Oh, you could run and if you hit the cover or the duck button, you slide.
Yeah, absolutely. You can slide into cover. It's really cool.
But yeah, I was going to say Malcolm McDowell, I think, has been in a number of Sony games, hasn't he? He was a character in God of War 3, I think.
Was he?
Yeah,
He was in Wing Commander. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
Man, look how good this looks. Just all the stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm impressed with this cover mechanic. It's unique for an FPS.
Also, the thing I love about this game is the hit effects, the impact. Like as you shoot enemies, the way they react to your bullets and fly back. I feel like they they nailed that in this game.
Yeah.
Like, oof, look at that. That's fantastic.
There was $5 from Mr. Sadface saying, I love back compat, but people need to buy those systems more. The Wii U wasn't popular. The PS3 got more popular after they dropped it, etc. I mean,
well, counterpoint, PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 was one of the first big ones to really go big on backwards compatibility. And it's the best-selling console of all time.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, I don't think there's a correlation there.
It's so strange how they went all in on backwards compatibility and to look where Sony is now, where it's just like, who even plays old games? You know, it's unfortunate, but you know, I think the PS. Yeah, I mean, I guess the PS3 did get more popular after backwards compatibility was dropped, but yeah, you're right. There's no correlation. It's not that people didn't want the feature. It's just that, you know, they finally got their crap together with the system. You know,
exactly. I don't think the feature of backwards compatibility has anything to do with popularity of it.
Yeah, but you know, I've said before, you know, I'm sure that, you know, the message that, you know, Sony management got out of the PlayStation Classic failing wasn't, well, you know, we had crappy emulation with PAL versions and a not really that great selection of games to begin with. That's why it failed. You know, no, they're just saying, oh, well, people just clearly do not want our old games. Who cares? No one cares. It's unfortunate. There was £2 from Spartan 2. Thank you, saying I totally misinterpreted this at first, saying I enjoyed the recent MAG stream with Chris Corey, and I thought he might have been talking about MAG for the PlayStation 3.
That's what I thought. Oh, magazine.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Was that on Chris's channel?
Yes. Yeah. We did it on.
Did he get a good
Monday
one this
night?
time?
Yeah. Well, it was his last month's. It was.
I love those.
It was.
This
like
is very pleasant.
Yeah, it's really fun. You should be on one with us sometime.
Yeah, I'll do it. Definitely.
It's just like the timing is
that.
really challenging because he's in California, so even then it's like even more.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, and you guys like can't get through a magazine in 4 hours.
Well, I mean, yeah, it usually takes us a while.
I've also been wanting to do something like that, but like with Richard.
Yeah.
And like one of his old magazines, basically. Like do like live readings and flip through all that stuff, and I think that would be a lot of fun.
There was 1999. Wow, from
Thank
Eric
you.
Schuessler. Thank you. Saying part of the shame is that there's absolutely no inclination from Sony to celebrate the platform. Just a black and white death certificate. Okay, the stores are going away. Why not celebrate the legacy on social media? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, big time.
I mean, but at the same time, like, you know, I think, in a sense, they're trying to like, why would they celebrate something that they're taking away? You know, they
Oh,
need
for sure.
they need to play into the messaging that like, you know, it doesn't really matter. You know, we're taking this down so that we can, you know, realign our resources to you know, better support the PS4 and PS5 stores. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, you know, why would it's up to us to celebrate?
But I think they should still. They're missing out by not celebrating their history anymore.
Oh,
well, I mean, just in general. I mean, you know, if they had a way to do that on PS5, aside from, you know, playing PS2 classics to emulate for PS4 on PS5, you know, that's as close as you can get right now.
Yeah, I think you're right though about that PlayStation Classic really screwing up the perception of.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Because it was a bad product. It was very poorly made, and that's why it failed. It wasn't.
I mean,
the games.
The external factor of it is fantastic. I mean, the console itself, the
yeah,
controllers.
physically. The hardware inside's good too. It's just the software side is terrible.
Yeah, and my understanding though is that if I am not mistaken, I think people have said that of the official mini consoles, like it's actually the
Most powerful.
It's actually the best one to, like, you know, emulate other systems.
Oh yeah, that's what it pursued.
There was $5 again from Chris France. Thank you. Saying shameless plug, but we had this being talked about in the chat. We had a discussion on on what is retro on the latest Retro RGB Riders podcast. Yeah, I'm playing. I was going to listen to that the other day, but I didn't. I need to listen to that.
My rule is 10 years.
Yeah.
That's the 10-year cutoff. Anything that's older than 10 years is retro.
Yeah, I mean, my definition for the past several years has been anything with analog output, like as its primary.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Anything that lacks HDMI, like that's my rule for Analog Frontiers, at least in general. Like that's why, you know, I called it Analog Frontiers. Some people are confused because it's like, but games are digital. But it's like, well, but they were designed for analog output. The games were fundamentally designed differently because they were designed to interface with a different type of TV. And playing those games apart from that analog environment is a challenge.
That's right.
So that's kind of been how I've defined it for Analog Frontiers. But, you know, obviously the past several weeks, people have been having a lot of nostalgia for PS3.
Look at it, it's got destructible environments too. I can shoot through this and it breaks apart. I mean, that's like,
I forgot about that.
Like Red Faction, that was like a whole thing with that, and here it's just like, hey, it's just part of it. That's cool. You don't even see that in first-person shooters now.
No, it's not that common. Yeah, they were really doing some crazy stuff with this.
There was $5 from For the Love of the Game again. Thank you, saying Matrick at least he greenlit some weird FromSoft games. Ryan is the new Bernie Stolar. All big flashy games, no small fun Japanese ones.
Maybe, but I don't know, man. It's like I feel like that quote of "Why would anybody play those old things" from Jim Ryan is pretty much the same as the we have a product for people like that. It's called Xbox 360. Like it's that same kind of like thing that's just gonna
Oof, I forgot that quote. What was the full context of that? I remember it now, but
it was like during the interview for the Xbox One, they asked him like, okay, what about people like in the military or those that rely on consoles that can't connect to the internet and stuff?
That's right.
And he was like, oh well, we have a product for those people. It's called Xbox 360. Yeah. It's like the way he said it. It's a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody was like, "Oh no!"
I mean, but up until the Xbox One reveal, I don't remember people really having a beef with Don
Well,
Patrick.
more that they shifted everything over to Kinect for a while.
Look at this guy.
that
Look
is
at
true.
this guy. He's pretty brave. Look at him.
Oh, that's funny. He's just chilling. But the thing is, like, during the Matrick tenure, you saw the Kinect focus. You saw them shift away from first-party games and focus really heavily on just third-party stuff.
Well, yeah. At the end, he like just nixed all of their internal studios, and it took Phil Spencer a generation to start even building that back up.
That's what Sony's doing. Microsoft was like, "Hey, we're just gonna double down on all these AAA games like Gears and Halo and Forza." Didn't work out for them.
Yeah, I know.
I'm afraid
You can very much see that with what Sony is doing. It's a little more. It's worrying because
like their studios are tremendous. So I'm sure there's still going to be amazing stuff coming. But I really think the appeal of PlayStation has always been this wide variety, and Sony itself was responsible for a lot of that. So it's a real loss to see what they're trying to do here.
You know what's really cool about this is, and you don't really see this in a lot of first-person shooters, is it just really has a sense of chaos. Like you don't really get the sense of that like a giant battle is waging in a lot of games like this. And it's like with all the the sparks and stuff in the air, it I don't know. It feels very like real.
It has a really cool feel to it, doesn't it? Like it's very, very cool. I agree. Also, this level in the when played in 3D was awesome because of all those particles in the air you see. So it really felt like thick atmosphere.
We got 50 NOKs. Is that
Norwegian Kroners?
Norwegian Kroners from Andy Lon. Thank you. Up in Audie's neck of the woods. Go check up on him and make sure he's all right for us, would you? Says pour one out for quaint Sony games and raise a glass to continue DF and MLiG cooperation.
Oh, is that Andy? Yeah, we had an interview with him last night. Audie and I, on DF. What a nice fellow. It's cool that he's here.
What were you interviewing him for?
Oh, he interviewed us.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So it was fun. We ended up talking a lot about Donald Duck, actually, which is why not? Because that's something that I only really learned when I moved here is how Donald Duck was huge. He is huge in Europe in a way that's like almost hard to comprehend. Like Mickey Mouse has nothing on Donald Duck over here. And Donald wasn't just viewed as like this cartoony kind of. The whole series of books on it. It's just he's big. He was an institution.
There's I don't remember what the developer was, but I just yesterday learned about a Japan-only Super Famicom Donald Duck game.
Maho no Boshi?
Yeah. That. Is it any good?
That's good, man. I feel like if Audie were on the chat, he could talk a lot about this.
Yeah, I did not know about that game. I was intrigued. I also looked up gameplay footage. I'd never really tried it. The Maui Mallard game.
Oh, Maui Mallard.
It looks kind of awesome. Like it looks like there's some very unique sort of set pieces in it.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's actually from that same kind of era of like all the hand-drawn animation and artwork that you would see in some of those Disney-related games. It's cool. I like that game a lot.
There was speaking of games that I was looking up yesterday. I don't remember what led to this. Mitch B had a $5 super chat. Thank you. Saying thoughts on games that were DLC only going away. Only example I know of is American McGee's Alice is DLC from Madness Returns. Can't be bought standalone. Yeah, because I was looking at that yesterday because I was looking up Madness Returns for some reason, and I saw that the regular Alice was released on PS3 and 360, but I couldn't find like a listing for it. And so I was like, what? How was this released? So yeah, I mean, that's a game.
It's an okay port. It's not bad.
It is the is that also playable on current gen Xbox? I know the Madness Returns is.
I don't think it is. It's a standalone game.
Okay, so that has to be
a separate conversion, yeah.
But I mean, luckily I don't think need to be worried about that going off of Xbox 360 anytime soon, and that's probably the version of Madness Returns I would get. Do you have to have Madness Returns to buy that though?
I have the game out there actually, and as far as I recall, on PS3 and 360, it was just a download code.
So
can you redeem the code and you can re-download?
So can you not get it if you get a used copy?
Only if they redeemed the code, then yeah, you can't get it.
Yeah, but a lot of those codes have disappeared.
Expired too.
Expired.
That's right.
You know, like I tried to.
I
realized I never redeemed my code for PlayStation All Stars for the Vita version, and I tried to do it, and it's like it doesn't work. It's like this offer is expired, because you know when you do all the cross-buy stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to actually get that the console version of that game, because that would be disappointing, huh?
Or of what? Oh, of Alice?
Of American McGee's Alice.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember.
Is there no way to get it?
So it actually very specifically.
I heard that
it says activate your online pass.
Oh.
So it's from that era.
Is it an
Somebody
EA
told me that American
game?
McGee is a clown. Is that true?
He's a bozo.
Oh, a bozo. That's right.
Oh, that's great.
Not really. We never met him.
No, I've not met American McGee. It doesn't actually say anything about expiration, but this is an online pass.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That is.
This is interesting though. This is before manuals were just gone. You actually have in the corner. It's impossible to see on the camera. It says manual included on disc. So they put this little black and white leaflet in here with legal stuff. And it has a table of contents. I love this. Page 1, getting started. Back cover, limited 90-day warranty.
Man, if there's no other way to get the port of that game though, that's so disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember how well it ran. I mean,
there's some other stuff.
Game.
I wonder if I have anything out like that on here. Let me pause this and look through what I have. So, the PS3 came out. I got a PS3 when I was kind of really hardcore in the depths of buying a lot of digital games. I was way into the Virtual Console, and I had sold off a lot of stuff in the years before this. So I was rebuying a lot of stuff on Virtual Console. So I bought a lot of stuff on PSN and also on the 360. So I got a lot of stuff here.
3 City.
Where is it? One thing that, you can't buy any other way as far as I know is, if I can find it, when you bought the Castle of Illusion, or you pre-ordered the Castle of Illusion HD remake, you got the M2 version of the Genesis one. Yeah. Part of the, whatchamacallit, the Vintage collection.
That's right, yep.
Man, I was playing Pixel Junk Shooter the other day, and it's just like I just wanted to keep going. I forgot how fun that was.
Yeah, the M2 developed a Neo Geo station has been delisted.
Oh yeah,
and I only got those. I got those for the documentary that we did, and you couldn't buy them at that time. And I went onto GameStop's website, and you could still buy codes. So I bought codes for Metal Slug 2. Alpha Mission 2 and Magician Lord, and you can redeem them, and they still work because they have, if they're selling them, they have to be able to work.
Right.
Interesting.
But here's another one, like on the Japanese store, like the Spelunker collection. Nowhere else, like when that's gone, and that has a bunch of different versions of that game.
Man.
Oh, and Mighty Flip Champs. That game, the DSi store. Can you buy DSi games on 3DS still?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I know the DSi store was taken down, but Mighty Flip Champs is a great game.
Oh yeah,
it's much better on DS though than PSP and PS3 because the horizontal orientation of the screen does not work nearly as well as the vertical one.
Oh, right.
There was $5 from Nikes Zero. Thank you. Saying try playing Killzone 3 using the PlayStation Move and navigation controls. It's very precise and fun to use.
It is. I concur.
That's something I'd like to
I'll
try
give it a shot.
after. I'd like to try that. That was why I got the PS3 version of GoldenEye Reloaded. I wanna try move controls in that sometime.
Oh yeah.
But that version is very impressive. Like I did not know it was 60 frames per second. I played through it on the Wii.
Oh, Reloaded. Yeah.
I think that's such a neat game. Like, just like I know it's a totally different kind of game compared to the original GoldenEye, but like I just love how it like totally reimagines the entire GoldenEye scenario as like a Daniel Craig thing. It's just it's very cool the amount of sort of re-envisioning of the whole thing. There was $2 from David again, saying praising both Resident Evil Chronicles HD with the Move. I just got, it hasn't arrived yet, but I ordered the Japanese physical.
Revival selection. It's another one, but it's like we have the one that has Code Veronica and.
The Revival selection is the one that has Code Veronica and RE4.
Right.
The one that has Dark Side Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but I ordered it. Which is.
Well, Corey, look at that floor in that room.
Thing to have.
Was that
in here?
Okay, no, it's flat. I was seeing if it was. It had like an illusion of depth through the window.
What's interesting about Dark Side Chronicles in particular is that it's got like it's sort of got this framing device where Leon and like from like when Leon and Krauser were like working together.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kind of.
Did you see those water effects there?
I can go back. Me too.
I was just thinking though, like how would you say, may I have a glass of water?
If you Mukta ein Glas Wasser trinken.
But I actually want to know, how would Corey ask for water in New York City?
I just say, just like if I'm ordering it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I have a glass of water?
Oh, you just say water like that?
Yeah.
All right. There's no New Yorkness to saying water.
Water.
Oh well, I mean, like I don't have a real accent or anything, even though I didn't grow up. But, it's.
What's so funny is we'll occasionally get a comment just saying like, this guy has the thickest Midwest accent I've ever heard in my life, and it's like literally neither of us are from the Midwest.
Yeah, but I mean,
I am from the Midwest, so I have a suitably thick Midwestern accent. The thing about being from Cincinnati is that you often end sentences in like a preposition.
Right? Or
like where'd I put that thing at?
Where are them cookies at?
Where are them cookies at? Where are the cookies at?
One of my favorite things that Kevtris says that you might hear a time or two in Analog Frontiers Part 4 is such a thing. Such a thing. He's like there is no such a thing, or or where would I find such a thing? Such a thing. I love it.
It's one word. Such a thing.
Such a thing. There was $2 from Ratface. I'm trying to figure out what that avatar is. It looks like some Tetsuya Nomura, like either Kingdom Hearts or like Final Fantasy VII, compilation of Final Fantasy VII type character. Saying, ever consider doing a podcast? That'd be dope.
That would be dope.
Yeah, that's a good idea. we talked for way too long, probably, about everything, which is good for everybody who'd want to listen.
Every episode would be like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Can you
And we
imagine
probably
some
have
of the
to-
subjects?
Yeah, and we probably cover way too much in every single one, or cover
I know.
everything.
Dude, I know.
Shotgun
Like, imagine
pistol.
if we did like an episode on like all like the Sega developed Capcom games or the
Oh,
Super
man.
FX chip or something like that, man.
Donkey Kong
Kong Country, the Dreamcast launch, like all that stuff. Man,
that-
hopefully
That'd be wild.
Someday.
It would
Someday.
be wild.
I have a shotgun pistol. It's straight up just called a shotgun pistol.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I like shotgun pistols. Pistoles.
There was $5 from Jeremy Rutz saying, "What about the interactive Killzone 2 demo that was made available on PS3 called Behind the Bolt?"
Oh,
Yeah, I have that.
So you have it on your system.
Yeah,
That's great.
hang on.
It's cool.
I'm gonna go into this. Is that all right? If I can, I'm
Yeah,
back
yeah,
out of the game and I'll go into.
You can play more Killzone 3 on your own time.
You know something that I was surprised to find when I put in my I just bought the European physical for Siren Blood Curse, and it actually has, like, if you go to the video tab on the cross media bar, there's like a series of behind the scenes videos that you can access, like, just from the disc. And I wonder if that's something I've overlooked on any other discs that I have. I mean, there's oftentimes like extra things you can install in the game tab of the cross media bar, but I usually don't go to like the other sections when I put a game disc in. So I wonder if I've overlooked anything else.
I wonder. I don't know.
Oh, here we go.
There was $4.99 once again from the I can't talk, the polyester pen. So saying in quotation marks, I assume quoting a Sony company board meeting. So how do we make game preservation / backwards compatibility profitable? I mean, that is obviously what they were thinking, but it makes you wonder, like, what could they, like, is there a way that they truly could?
Oh,
Like,
you can slow it down too.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
I don't know what.
Oh, look at, you can do, like, hang on, sorry. There's like intensity reflective materials,
So
pixels orientation.
yeah.
Oh.
So it uses a deferred renderer, so you're seeing all the different elements that are used to make the final image there. So like the normal maps, you get the depth buffer there. These are all the different buffers that they're stored.
It's too bad that all games don't have this. That would make your job a lot easier.
Dude,
If
I
this is,
know.
like, built on
Tell
every
me about
game.
it. That nobody would do that, but
I mean, do you think, does this add anything to resources? I mean, to have these, or if you paused it at any point and you could, like, look at all these different things, do you think it would take away from, like, any resources, like, too heavily?
Oh, I don't think it would be too difficult to pull off. But it depends. Not every game uses the same setup. Like, this is just a classic deferred render, so it makes a lot of sense. You'd have all these different buffers to look at.
Oh, look at that! You can do this too.
Oh yeah.
There was $10 from Joseph Childs. Thank you. Saying, since native 1280 by 720 TVs aren't really a thing, what's the best way to upscale 720p games? Something I would love to see, and I think will materialize one day. I mean, I've definitely talked to people about this kind of concept, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've thought about this before." But I think that for the small scale kind of products that come out of the retro community, I think 4K is either just out of reach or just barely in reach. But I would love to see, like, a no lag nearest neighbor scaler.
Dude, I've wanted that so bad for so long, but nobody does it.
1080p and 720p. I think it would look really good.
Because right now, the honest best way to view 720p is a CRT.
Yeah, it is like a VGA CRT. Looks real nice.
If you get I know they're hard to get, obviously, but the widescreen CRT monitors, like the FW900, of course. There's a few others. Those are really awesome for 720p.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying. I set up at my parents' house a 2004 projector, a Marantz
Oh
projector
yeah.
that I got, at a at a thrift store for $35, and it was like I think a pretty high end like home cinema projector for its time. Mid high end, I would say. And it's native 720p and like stuff like you know, Xbox 360, PS3, even like Switch games, like Switch games that might be like sub 1080p, like just kind of getting that super sampling effect on them. Stuff looks great on that in 720p.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Actually,
So
what? 720p and DLP was always a good fit. Because
yeah,
rear projection DLP sets were one of the only fixed pixel displays that actually came in actual 1280 by 720.
mm.
It's rear projection, of course, but you're talking about a front projector.
I am
which,
talking about a front projector. And
there are also occasionally some
relatively sure it's native 720p.
Usually they were more like 4:3 resolutions, but if it's an actual 1280 by 720, then yeah, that's perfect for that.
Yeah, it's a 16:9 resolution because if you plug in like an OSSC, I'm pretty sure it's not.
That's super cool.
It's letterboxed.
I never really messed with that before.
Or pillar boxed, not letterboxed. So yeah, I think projector. That's an episode I would like to do maybe later this year when Analog Frontiers is done. I really want to do an episode about
Analog Frontier.
This is another thing worth getting. I don't know if this is still on there and how much of this information in the Metal Gear
database.
Yeah, I mean this is really really cool at the time, especially if you were into the Metal Gear lore, like waiting for MGS4 to come out. And there was stuff marked as spoilers, and once MGS4 came out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, it'll only unlock certain things if you played MGS4, and you'll be able to.
That's
I guess
right.
But the thing is, I don't think it works with version 2.0 save data.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, really? That's a bummer.
Because it didn't detect any, and I definitely have some on here. But
I've used to. From what I recall, when it unlocks stuff, it's like everything that's like spoilered out. When you unlock it, it all just says nano machines.
See, you cannot view complete information pertaining to Metal Gear Solid 4 until you have completed that game.
I wonder if you were to complete the game, then
You can move data onto a PS3 with USB, right? So you could like find a save for the
if it's not
earlier
locked.
version.
If it's not locked,
Right? It might be. No, you can decrypt it though. There's ways to get around that.
But then that would probably like pop trophies that you didn't earn, and that would be like cheating or something.
Oh well. It's not like Sony cares about the PS3 at this point.
So I mean, if you're into this kind of stuff, it's cool. It's like kind of like a web page. It has all these keywords. You can just then you can click on Cobra Unit, and it'll give you a whole bunch of stuff and tell you about each person.
Oh, it's got like links and blue.
Yeah, I don't know if this is still available either.
That reminds me of this, the document of Metal Gear Solid 2.
Right.
Which an actual retail disc that's all behind the scenes stuff on that game. Like, that's insane that actually got made. I love it.
That stuff is on the HD collection, though, isn't it?
I don't know I don't think it's all there. Maybe. I doubt it. Because this has, like, all the model viewer and, like, all kinds of stuff in here. You can, like, open up cutscenes and maps and, like, fly around with a free cam and, like, do slow motion on stuff like the Killzone thing.
There was £5 from Couch Multiplayer, which is always a
Ooh, that's
fun
a good one.
Saying, has anyone mentioned Calling All Cars? That name is familiar, but I don't remember.
David Jaffe game, right? So,
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It was also 1080p 60, another one. I used to use Calling All Cars for testing flat panels when I was shopping back in the day. 'Cause that's how I used to shop for TVs, is just bring systems to the store and like connect them up and just compare and contrast that way.
There was 499 from Eric Schusler saying, after 20 plus years of PlayStation heritage, Clap Hands Golf lands on Apple Arcade only. A new Everybody's Golf and all but name would have been a great PS5 release. Yeah, I saw screenshots of that for the first time yesterday. I'm like, man, this looks really good. I hope they're still on good terms with Sony and will continue to make console games, because I mean, yeah, I can't play Apple Arcade. I don't have any iOS devices, so
I
It's not gonna
know.
work.
What's wrong?
I don't know what's going on. I tried booting Linger in Shadows, and it seems like it's in a black screen. But I'm just waiting to see if it's just taking a while to load.
What's the hard drive light doing?
Well, no, it looks like it's still going. I think there it goes. It just takes a while to show up, I guess.
there was £2 from Engine UK saying, watching Try and Corey at not 4 a.m. Upside Down World. Oof. Yeah, you're there pretty often on the Sunday night streams. So I don't know if staying up to 4 a.m. is usual for you or not, but
Yikes! I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do it at all either. Like I'm done by like 1 o'clock is pushing my way past my limit.
Then I have to take my cane and hobble over to the bed.
I'm guessing this is this is calling back to the water discussion earlier. But again, £2 from Couch Multiplayer saying,
Nice water.
Add a God Hand skit after the stream. Water. I've not played that game outside of the few minutes I played of it on PCSX2 for Analog Frontiers.
What?
The hard drive is not flashing, so I might have to reboot it here.
Oh, this is weird.
Whoa, Corey,
it was empty that time.
I think you're not allowed to drink Diet Coke by your computer anymore.
Well,
You've lost your privileges.
Yeah.
There was 499 from Joe Munger. Thank you. Saying, is it unfair
Bunger. Sorry.
Is it unfair to expect game companies to preserve their products regardless of profitability? It's not something we see in other industries. I feel like game companies could adopt a low cost means, sort of a system for, feeding their finished games into some sort of preservation system that also has a front-facing public presentation that might, involve buying classic games for money or something. But I feel like companies could make something that, in theory, is relatively seamless and low cost,
right?
To allow them to do that. But I don't know if anyone has adapted that yet, because you have like Microsoft. They've got this whole backwards compatibility team that has to be very hands-on with how they present legacy titles, which is awesome that they do that. But it's honestly a miracle that they do it at all.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that when it gets right down to it, and somebody goes into a board meeting, like, okay, why are we spending X amount of dollars on this thing? It's very easy for them to probably make that decision to say, "Oh, just shut it down."
Yeah, but you know
what? I shouldn't play Infamous 2. I should play the Halloween game that came out for it, like the blood something.
Oh yeah,
which is going to go away. Like that'll go away. It's like it doesn't exist anywhere else. So I'll play that instead.
I'm gonna be right back. So I'm gonna get something.
All right.
There was $5 from Anders Matson. Thank you. Saying 2 quick questions. 1, worth picking up GunCon 3, only a few games compatible, right? And 2, can you download game updates when the shop closes? We think so.
Yeah, but I've gone through and installed everything and downloaded all my updates for all the games.
I've been proactive in preparing that, but we think so. they've made it sound like you can. The only thing that's really going away is the ability to purchase. But it'll probably go away eventually for sure. As for the GunCon 3, I think that's something that Corey would know more about. I mean, I don't have one because they released a disc of Razing Time Crisis Razing Storm that includes Razing Storm, Time Crisis 4 arcade mode. It has like the original version of Time Crisis 4 on PS3 has some sort of like story mode where you like actually move the characters in a first person environment, and Corey says it plays like so bad. And then also Dead Storm Pirates. So you can get that, and it's compatible with PlayStation Move. You don't need a GunCon 3. So like that's the only thing that I know of that I would have wanted to play with a GunCon 3, and that version of the game, the Time Crisis Razing Storm, lets you play all of those games with a Move controller instead. So so I don't know. I'd be curious to hear Corey's opinion, but I would say no, probably not worth it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, the GunCon 3 is just really obnoxious, anyways. Just like all the setup that it takes is not fun.
No.
I forgot how to do.
Oh, that's you guys are talking about that question, the GunCon 3.
Yeah.
Oof, yeah, GunCon 3. Oof, stick with the GunCon 2 and just
and get the move.
Yeah,
the Razing
just
Storm
move.
compilation.
Razing Storm, that lets you play with PlayStation Move instead. So
Yeah. I got to get a better gun though for my Move. I got one of these Move guns. You just put the Move into it, and it's not very comfortable. And I think that I didn't pay very much money for it.
I mean, I would have no problem just using the Move.
Whoa,
normally.
dude!
What?
Somebody's saying on Xbox for Alice Madness Returns, you can play through the first game, as it's available in the options menu. Also, it's on Game Pass, so like, okay, well there you go.
Really? So if you just have regular Madness Returns, like as a disc, like do they automatically give you regular Alice?
I don't know if you need that online pass thing still, but we'll have to look into this.
Yeah, because I really I'll get the Xbox version of that soon if I want to get that game for Xbox 360 anyway, but that would be amazing. This game,
This looks pretty good actually.
yeah, I played it. Not this Halloween game, but just Infamous 2 in general. Like I played Infamous 1 back when it came out, and I didn't love it, so I skipped Infamous 2, and then I got Second Son, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not a huge open world game fan, but I really did like Second Son a lot. But then, I know a lot of people, including Corey, kind of consider Infamous 2 their favorite.
Oh yeah, I think it's definitely the best one.
And I got it a while, maybe 2 years ago or something. Never even put it in my system. And so when I was, downloading patches and installing games on my PS3 in the past couple of weeks, I booted up Infamous 2, and like I could not believe how much better it looks than Infamous 1. Like Infamous 1 is not a good looking game.
Well, considering when it came out.
Yeah.
But you're right, Infamous 2 is a massive step up.
Is really crazy what a jump in visual quality it is. And just like animation and cutscene quality too.
Yeah.
It just is a much better looking game.
And also Second Son, for being so early on PS4, was absolutely amazing.
It visually it holds up very well.
And if you play it now in high res mode, you get a locked 60 FPS on the PS5. Yep. So it's very smooth too.
Yeah. First Light was really good too.
Mm-hmm.
I die.
I assume this Halloween game is not as involved as First Light. Or
Probably
is it?
not. I actually don't know. I
totally forgot about this.
Yeah, same.
Can you buy it without Infamous 2? Is it like a standalone game?
It's a standalone game. You can't. It's not part of.
So it's gonna be
gone.
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's not that long. You know, I was able to do everything. I platinumed Infamous 1, 2, and I don't think this one had a platinum trophy. But I mean, if you look at my stats, I've done everything that there is to do in it. I'm
One
100%
of the things
So I
that
like
killed
them.
that kind of killed Infamous 1 for me was there was like 2 of those like power node things, the little Banjo Kazooie note equivalents. You know what I'm talking about? I forget exactly what
Oh
they're
yeah,
called.
yeah, of course.
But I there were like 1 or 2 that I could never find, and the game does not have a breakdown of like where the missing ones are located, like what region they're in. So it could have been anywhere in the whole world. And like I feel like the only way to really do it would be to like start the whole game over and then not move into new areas until you completely cleared out like the set number of nodes and whatever they're called in the area you have been in. So that I was just like so annoyed because it seemed like such an easy game to do 100% in, and then
It
I
wasn't,
just
because you got to do 2 playthroughs for sure.
oh
You have to
yeah,
do
I guess
good
that's
and bad.
true. Yeah, but then like I think once I couldn't find all of the power things, I think I just lost my desire.
You
I
see
mean,
stuff like this, like
I
going
loved
around
the game okay
on the electric
enough,
lines.
but
Like,
I didn't love the first game.
this makes me think of what is it, Sunset Overdrive? Like on the
Oh yeah. There was there was $5 from the Shelfables or the Shelf Fables. I'm not sure. Let's say Shelfables. With a pretty cool like T-Rex uh, icon, saying thank you, saying I think it may be a good idea to talk about all the DLC that will be unavailable in the future too. Can't get that stuff physical at all. No, and that's going to be like so overwhelming for us to like. I think do everything. I mean, I suspect Corey bought more DLC than I did. I've never been like,
not a lot though.
I didn't buy a lot either.
yeah,
I
I've never been like
never been into it.
overly DLC hungry, I guess.
There's basically, for me, I really liked Minerva's Den for Bioshock 2.
Oh yeah.
And I enjoyed the Mass Effect DLC, Mass Effect 2.
Yeah,
And
that was really good.
those are some of the only ones I ever actually got into, and I almost
the RE5 ones were pretty good.
I'd never played them.
There's one where you you go with Chris, you play as Chris and Jill in Spencer's mansion, like when Chris thinks that Jill dies. You play that mission. The other one is after you save Jill, you play as Jill, and she meets up with Josh, and they have a little mission, and then there's like a scene later on, like at the very end of the game, where Jill is like contacting Chris with some important information, and so like the purpose of the mission is to like actually get to the broadcast tower where they can like send that message. It's pretty neat.
It makes me realize that for as many times as I played through RE5, I don't remember very much about it. You're like who is Josh?
Dude,
I don't know.
I remember, man, RE5 for me was a very special release.
Oh yeah,
specifically because that came out. It was the time when I bought my second Pioneer Kuro plasma.
Mm-hmm.
So during that transition, I had two 50-inch 1080p plasmas, or not one wasn't so two 50-inch plasmas in my flat. I bought 2 copies of RE5. A friend of mine came over and spent the entire weekend there, and we co-opted the entire game, each with our own 50-inch plasma back in like 2009, which was like a very epic thing to do, and we enjoyed the heck out of that game.
Oh yeah, I mean it is my favorite like 3D online co-op game I've ever played. Like I've never had a better experience with online co-op in a 3D game. I mean, it's just
the only one for me that I still look back on more fondly, I guess, is System Shock 2. Playing that with playing that
person's dead.
Oh my goodness, that's good.
I mean, it was like outside of like Final Fantasy 11 and like, you know, various things on like the DS and the Wii. Like I feel like it was really, you know, I Final Fantasy 11, you know, MMO, and then like DS and Wii, like some competitive multiplayer games like Mario Kart and stuff. But like, I feel like it was the first time I'd really ever played an online just like co-op game. And
right.
like I know a lot of people like think RE5 was, you know, the beginning of a low point for the series, but I love that game.
I love it too. Yeah,
it's so fun. Like I think it is an excellent follow-up to RE4.
I agree. I really love it. I think it's a great game.
RE4 is better, but not by nearly as much as I think most people
I agree
make it out to be.
And also
they're pretty close for me. They're pretty close.
While it's also certainly flawed, I actually am a fan of Resident Evil 6.
Me too.
Because I think the gameplay loop there is really good.
Yes,
the controls are amazing. You can do a lot.
The main problem is the game doesn't explain the controls, but like there's actually a lot of really interesting mechanics kind of embedded into it, and the like sort of in the use of like your stamina meter and stuff like that. I mean, I don't remember all the specifics of how it works, but like once you like read up on some of the things you can do, it's like, oh, this is like actually plays really well. You know, when I was making sure all my games were installed, I put in the.
This is not a good looking game. I can tell you that. Even at 720p, this is looking much worse than I remember it looking.
But I put in RE6, and I've still never played through like the 1080p 60 FPS version on last gen consoles. I have the PS4 version, but I've just never played.
So Troy, here's the thing. Here's what made the game rough at first was when it launched initially. The original release version, it had a very, very, very low FOV.
I played it day one. Yeah.
Okay. See, I still liked it okay day one, but I found it a little bit annoying because it had this limited FOV. It had this very tight camera placement on the character, and then the frame rate itself was really low. It was very unstable, so it just kind of created this impression of it was a little bit chaotic at first, and the game didn't really teach you how to play it. So like they had like a million tutorials for like hold X to do this thing, like the simple stuff, but when it came to actually executing like real combat maneuvers, they give you no idea like why you would ever do any of those moves. And I don't mind that. I actually enjoyed figuring it out, but I think it's just you combine all those elements together and it makes a bad first impression. But you should seriously try playing the updated version.
I will someday for sure.
The wider FOV, the higher frame rate, like it transforms the game.
But you know, I have to say though, when I booted it up, I had, you know, my most recent save was like in the middle of the China section of Leon's story. And like I didn't like really play it. Like I didn't like move forward to where I got into any combat or anything. But I was just like looking at it, I'm like, wow, like the PS3 version of this game still, it looks better than I thought it would going back to it. Like it like the image quality I thought was relatively clean for the system.
Oh yeah, it looks good for the PS3. It's just the frame rate's really unstable.
And you know, lots of good lighting effects and stuff. I was impressed. It really put me in the mood to replay it because I don't think it's a bad game. I really don't.
No, I like it. I don't think Resident Evil ever had like a really bad period. Like people seem to think. Like it's always been pretty consistently good.
I mean, they've definitely had different phases, but I don't think it's ever been bad.
No, exactly.
But there was I was going somewhere with something and I don't remember what it was. So why don't I just move on to the next super chat, which was Paul Sutton again.
Thank you.
Saying I've tried many move guns. Out of them all, the official Sony shooting attachment has proven to be the most comfortable for me.
Okay.
Sony
That's good to know. Because it looks weird, you know, because you want to have one that looks cool. I gotta destroy the pig boss in 10 seconds. I don't even understand. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There we go. I got it.
You did it.
Oh, is that an eel?
Maybe.
There was another from Anders Matson. Thank you. Saying, tied to my GunCon question, just ordered my first PS3 and FF13 Slim, partly to play Japanese PS1 games. How do peripheral games like DDR Time Crisis 1 work on PS3? I have successfully played GunCon games on a PS3 connected to a CRT. I did not think it would work.
Output.
Yeah.
Does it? I forget. Does the PS3 do 240p when outputting analog?
No, it does not.
No, it does 480i.
So it will be 480i, but
although
I'm
I'm
pretty sure it worked. I know that for sure that 480i like 480i GunCon games like on like PS2 games like Time Crisis 2, Time Crisis 3, Ninja Spirit,
Time Crisis 2,
Vampire, what was it? Vampire Knight.
Yep.
All those 480i games I know for sure work on a PS3 when connected to a CRT. I don't remember 100% for sure if I tested if I tested PS1 games, but I think so. It will be 480i. It won't be 240p, but I think they work.
Okay.
But I know for sure the GunCon itself.
Oh, dude, stop, Corey! Look at that main menu in Trash Panic. I love it. They put an LCD TV in the garbage.
Yeah, well, but
there's CRT.
There's CRTs. Yeah, looks like like Max down here.
Yeah, but those actually look like they're in good condition. The LCD looks terrible, so that's where it should be, though. Chalkboard on the wall.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say earlier when we were talking about RE6. I was remembered because I saw a dude in Georgia in the chat was like said RE6 is good. Are we still part? I scrolled away from it. Are we still?
Should I try to play?
Are we still in the GameSack alternate universe?
Do you want me to try to?
Say was
really quick. Do you want me to try to play Time Crisis 4 with the Move? I should be able to do it. It's gonna take me a minute though to set up. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Should we bring Shales back for that, or?
What I was gonna say was, you were talking about how they updated it to have a wider field of view. That did bother me in The Evil Within 1, and then I'm pretty sure that also got a patch for a wider field of view.
Not only was the FOV limited, but an original version had giant black bars, so it was presented in ultra wide only. But it was
supposed to be like the cinematic aspect ratio.
I don't actually believe it, because I think they were having performance issues. That launch version, if you look at the version that's on the PS4 disc especially, it is so bad. Like, I cannot believe they burned that to disc. Like, people always say, oh, your games it's useless without day one patches, and usually they're wrong. Most games are fine off the disc, but the Evil Within is not fine off the disc. It is really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, I did not like that game nearly as much as I hoped to.
Corey, can you put on the Korn theme while you're setting up?
Believe it or not, I did catch up on Super Chats. Wow, there's 737 people watching right now.
Heck yeah. It's because it's the PS triple.
It is.
We ain't talking about that Wii. That Wii. Shit.
I talked a little bit about it earlier.
Talk a little bit about that Wii.
We did. Just a little bit though.
Yeah, well, the Move, it looks like a dildo.
You can play better versions of those Wii games on the PS3 for sure. True. Umbrella Chronicles, Darkside Chronicles, Dead Space Extraction. I love Dead Space Extraction.
Oh yeah, Dead Space Extraction is awesome. That's a good one. Oh man, we definitely need some Korn love on here. Oh,
Dude in Georgia says, won't
think
get
he
the corn
connected
like
the move.
my PS3 can barely load anything. Do you just mean like on the system level or like in the shop? Because I mean, the shop does perform so badly.
Well, thankfully, Sony has a solution to that.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Have you looked at the Vita store lately?
No, I haven't. I heard you saying it's really bad though.
It feels like they haven't kept tabs on it at all. So there's all these like broken icons and missing.
Oh, well, I
things,
mean that's been that way from almost the beginning where you would find a lot of broken icons.
It wasn't
but maybe
that.
it's gotten
it was
worse.
Not that. It's really bad now.
I mean, it would happen occasionally for a long time.
It feels like it's like, I mean, it is abandoned, but like you go in there and it's like hot new games from like years ago. It's like the hottest games, and then half the things are broken, not accessible. Like it's so bad.
The thing I hate on PlayStation TV is that there's this like Metal Slug advertisement on like the front system page that's been there since the day those things come out, and it's never changed.
I can't fault that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Metal Slug, you know, if you're going, but I mean, it's just like this unnecessary page that is always loaded.
Oh, the poor Vita. I like the Vita.
There was $2 from For the Love of the Game again saying, shout out to Jimmy Hoppa's PS1 on PS3 video. Legend.
Ooh. Is For Love of the Game from the UK, I wonder? Because I hear that a lot with my
For the Love of the Game is usually in our regular chats and donating in dollars. So
so probably not. Then never mind. I hear that a lot though. Well, somebody said, do I prefer Saturn or Dreamcast? I probably Saturn. Honestly, I love them both though.
Okay, I don't know if this is gonna work, but it's worth a shot.
So Mitch Jarman was asking, anyone remember Folklore? I finally got Folklore, and unfortunately, I mean, it's not like an expensive game yet, but it's more expensive than your average PS3 game. So if you're interested, you might want to go ahead.
I kind of wonder if PS3 games are going to see a rise at all.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, even Xbox 360 games could potentially have some sort of impact from this, just because like people are going to be looking into this generation more, or they might realize like, oh, the backwards compatibility is, you know, really valuable. You know, I want to get these discs. It's going to be interesting seeing what kind of impact it, you know, both direct on PlayStation stuff and indirect on, you know, other platforms.
Yeah, definitely.
There was Kyle Rogers. Kyle. Saying with $5, thank you. Saying just bought my very first. You know, it's not a bad camera,
but it looks sepia toned, like he's like in like an old school film or something.
Yeah, well, that doesn't look bad. Saying just bought my first PS3. What game or games would you absolutely recommend besides Last of Us or Uncharted? Well, of course, if you have a PS4, you can play better versions of The Last of Us and Uncharted on PS4 or PS5.
Definitely do that.
You know, in terms of games that you can't play on any other system, I would say first of all the Ratchet and Clank games, especially Tools of Destruction. Like the Tools of Destruction and Crack in Time are the main Ratchet and Clank games on PS3. They're never been ported off of it. They are, especially Crack in Time is an amazing game. So good. Then there are like two kind of like smaller Ratchet and Clank games. There's Quest for Booty, which is a download-only game in the U.S. You can import.
I always thought Quest for Booty was like Try's like Weekend Life.
There's that was only downloaded in the U.S., but so you want to get it if you're going to get that version. There is a UK or European.
That's right.
Physical, but it's going up in price. It wasn't very expensive as of just a few years ago when I bought it, but it is going up in price. And then there's also Into the Nexus, which was a game that released like a month or less before the PS4 launched, which is also kind of a smaller one. But all those highly recommended There's also like All for One and Full Frontal Assault, which those are not, anything to write home about. But all of those games, every single one of those Ratchet and Clank games, is only on PS3. You can't play it on any other system, and they are extremely, extremely good. Like if you like, I did not play. I played like a little bit of the first Ratchet and Clank on PS2 during its day, but it didn't grab me at that time for whatever reason. And so I really got into the system into the series with the PS3. And I was just blown away by what I'd been missing out on, because they are so much fun to play.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Who's ready for some time crisis? 4.
I am ready.
Let's do it.
But
Man,
yeah,
so
the
Quest for
Clank
Booty
ones,
is
they've
still
jumped to mind for me.
Quest for Booty is still pretty cheap if you buy it in Europe. New copies are more expensive, but if you you can find used ones for pretty cheap over here. What pretty common.
What kind of surprised me was when I installed it the other day. It it had a normal like boot up and installed from like a in-game installation. I kind of expected as a game that was developed primarily for download. I kind of expected it to be one of those games that installs from the cross-media bar off the disc, but it's not.
Oh yeah.
The main characters in this game look so douchey. I can't even believe it.
Oh, dude. They do. They're so douchey. Look at these guys. Holy. Good Lord. There's some serious D-bags there.
It's almost to the point of parody, though.
Yeah.
So I kind of love it.
And you wonder why the enemies are coming for them.
They look like they belong in like the Ninja Theory DMC.
A little bit.
I still kind of want to play that game.
Man, so let me think about some other PS3 games real quick that would be interesting. I have my list up actually, just looking through here. Stuff that's kind of exclusive on there. I mean, we talked about a lot of that stuff last week, I guess. But Killzone 2 and 3 are cool. No, Motorstorm. The 3 Motorstorm games are really, really great racing titles. Ridge Racer 7, of course. I love that. Siren Blood Curse is really solid, and that got a physical release over here. I would say Valkyria Chronicles was really good.
Yeah, that's got an HD version now.
Oh, that's right,
it does. Yeah.
3D Dot Game Heroes, of course.
Oh yeah, of course. Amazing.
Oh,
This?
Armored Core. Some of the Armored Core games were interesting. Like Armored Core 5 was pretty cool, actually, by From Software. I like that one. Also, Blur. You guys remember that?
Oh yeah,
that's a racing game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really good racing game. It's the PC version's actually not that good, so it's one of those cases where like it still has weird issues now. So actually, the PS3 version's pretty solid of Blur.
Interesting.
Let's see here.
Someone mentioned Yakuza Dead Souls. Is that only on PS3 still?
Yeah, that's only on PS3. That's a good one. I mean, it's actually pretty janky, but it's funny. I like that game.
I hate having to hold down the button on here to
I know what you mean.
I missed that having it on the the Gun-Con 2, like doing it down here.
Someone mentioned Katamari Forever. Is that only on PS3? There's like I get like getting confused with like the Xbox 360.
Yeah. That's only on PS3. That one.
I've never truly loved a Katamari game more than the first one.
Yeah, me.
I've not played that many of the sequels though, to be honest. But like it always seemed to me like they got too focused on like special objectives. And like the fun part of the game to me was always just making the biggest Katamari that you could.
So even the computer-controlled guy that helps you out here, like he looks really douchey too. It's really funny, just like how everybody.
Are you talking about player 2 or is there another?
No, the other guy here. That shows up. Hang on, he's gonna help me in a second.
There's enemy beetles look pretty douchey as well.
Yeah. I want to hang on. Earlier there was a a non. There's a super chat. It was not a super chat. It was a. There's two of them. There's two of them. An hour ago, I guess.
Oh, whoops,
Oh no.
sorry.
There was one an hour ago, and then the other one was like afterwards from Dalton 32389 for $5. Thank you, and I'm sorry I missed it. Did you guys talk already about the CMOS bomb? I guess that's.
Oh, that thing. We didn't talk about it, but that's awful.
But I mean, that's just like they're saying if the CMOS battery dies or whatever, like that you lose access to your games.
Yeah,
Digital games at least, I guess. But
Oh
there were also people saying that like, oh, you like just have to get the system to connect to some server that you'll probably.
Right.
That I don't think that comes. I don't think that the system time comes from Sony.
Right. I think it'll probably be fine for a while, but I agree that I don't like the idea of a system being tied to a service like that. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. But it sounds like, I mean, we need to know more, obviously, but it sounds like that concern might be a little overblown, but
Hang on,
for the time being. But
Oh, we have Ease in the chat. You want to try?
ease.
I like the letter E, and I don't know why.
Oh, hang on.
Although I do see somebody asking how big is my Sega CD collection and why is this the best Sega CD game Corpse Killer? Corpse Killer is not the best Sega CD game, you turkey. It's interesting, but I have a lot of Sega CD games actually. I should pull those up. Let me look what I got here.
Okay, so
While
I have 42 Sega CD games.
Oof.
So some of my favorites: Earthworm Jim
I wanna
Special
see what it means
Edition.
to-
You know,
to do
Bar
this.
Yarn is awesome.
Oh, you gotta pull it down to shoot. I don't know if that's any better. I was hoping there would be some sort of reload function where if you just like point it upwards, it would go back in the cover.
Oh, right.
I saw that someone was talking about PSN Volume 1 is a must-buy if you can find a physical version of Tokyo Jungle and Fat Princess. And there's like at least 2 other games in there, I believe.
Yeah.
But it is
Really
worth.
quick, hang on.
I understand that it's like getting profoundly expensive, which is
It's
not
weirdly
shocking.
expensive.
But there is a Japanese version of just Tokyo Jungle, which was the only game I cared about out of the games that were in
And
that
also
collection.
it has beautiful cover art. Actually, I love that one.
The Tokyo Jungle one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
one here is.
it's awesome cover art. It's so cool. It's
Oh,
just
that-
it's just like a wide shot of the street with like the little Pomeranian. There's
Yeah,
just
I
like
know
a
it.
little
I love
blood
it.
there. He's just like standing in front of him. And you're like, ooh, what'd he do?
Cool.
I sort of like.
It's a beautiful cover. So I actually kind of prefer having that version. It is Japanese text in the game, but it's not expensive. So if you only care about Tokyo Jungle, I recommend getting that version.
Wow, man. I just had my my collector's thing open looking at the games that I have, and I realized like I was looking at the different PlayStations. I have 241 PlayStation 1 games, 306 PlayStation 2 games, 164 physical PS3 games, 208 physical PS4 games, 92 Vita games, and 83 PSP games.
92 Vita games physically?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm bowled over.
That's a lot, yeah.
That's impressive.
I like the systems though.
So you were talking about the Tokyo Jungle. Like, I didn't realize that this
Yeah.
was like super expensive. Is this Best of PlayStation Network Volume 1?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Yeah,
I can't believe
so
how much it goes for.
I don't.
Well, I
don't
mean,
know why.
it's very obvious why.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
you have it there, right there. How much is it going for? I just heard it was expensive. But I didn't hear how.
Like I've seen it for like $150.
Oh, I'm almost surprised it's not even more than that, to be honest.
I mean, it was
that's
$20
going to be
when it came out.
extremely valuable eventually. But again, there are other options at least for Tokyo Jungle. One game that I just got, mostly just because I just feel it's notable because of of its infamy from the reveal in 2006, but I just got the Japanese version of Africa.
Oh yeah.
Which the U.S. version for that is extremely expensive. And I posted a picture where I yesterday where I got I got Genji and Africa in the mail on the same day, and I was just like, oh man, I got my virtual E3 2006 press kit.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
But there were some people like, oh my gosh, Africa's worth a small fortune, and my finger is like kind of, unintentionally half covering the Cero rating on it.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, look, I did not pay the price for the U.S. version. It's this was not very expensive.
What if there was a light gun game like this, but it starred Tim and Eric? That would be. I would like to see what would happen.
I just want to see light gun games come back. Just period. I mean,
yeah.
it's
Well,
really...
speaking of which, there's $5 from the Phantom Knot saying it's funny that Time Crisis 5 is still an arcade exclusive. Round 1 arcades in the U.S. have them though. I personally thought it felt too rough. I mean, Corey and I played it. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough credits to finish it, but we played it at a what do you call them?
Like a Buster, like a
Dave and Buster's or whatever it's called. Yeah. We played at one of those, and actually, I'm wearing the shirt at Missouri when we went to Missouri Game Con. That was where we went. They had Time Crisis 5, and we were like so excited. We thought it was awesome.
Oh,
like
man.
we thought like Wild Dog in it is just like
Wild
so
Dog, yeah.
over the top that it's unbelievable. We had a really fun time with it. Like
yeah.
I really hope that somehow gets a console release someday. But I have heard other people criticize it, but like
John, these are the cicadas right here.
Dude, yeah, the cicadas are coming. They're coming for you. Except for they'd be all in your face and all like that. Exactly.
Yeah, just like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce you.
There was $4.99 from Jepa Condyle. Thank you. Saying long live the PS3. Well, it's in the hands of the people now, isn't it?
The PS Triple.
It's
PS Triple. I ain't talking about that Wii.
We can't count on Sony to be bringing that to us anymore.
Well, Sergio there says, would you recommend playing PS3 games at 720p rather than 1080p? And the truth is, most PS3 games don't actually even output 1080p because what you get on your screen is not what you set in the system. 1080p is like the max it can do. Some games will scale up or run at native 1080p, but most of them just like drop the resolution of the output when you start a 720p game.
Yeah, the screen drops and it'll say like on a capture card it'll be like no signal for a moment because it's switching to 720p. But there are cases like Final Fantasy 13 is the example I always think of where
that's a good one.
The menus and the FMVs especially, like the FMVs in Final Fantasy 13 are like some of the highest quality, highest bitrate FMVs like ever, basically. They look so good to this day. Like, most of the time, or a lot of the time, when you see FMV in like new games, like they don't play back very smoothly. The bitrate is poor. John, we've talked about this before. I think there's a lot of loading happening behind the scenes when they're playing FMVs. So just FMV quality is not a huge priority for a lot of games, but Final Fantasy 13, they hold up so well. They look incredible.
Oh yeah, it does.
And when you play the game in 1080p, it makes a difference. The FMVs look absolutely incredible.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean there are advantages, but aren't there also some games, John, that will try to do 1080p if you have the system set to 1080p, but they run smoother if you actually set the system to 720p?
Yeah.
Or is it the other, or is it even further down where they run better at 480p or something? I forget. It's not something I've tested myself.
There are games that run best at 480p, and then they run a little bit less good at 720, and then if they had a 1080 mode, they actually run the worst then. So
honestly, this game would not be from this generation if it didn't have a turret section.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Although it's probably doing turret sections before other things are doing turret sections.
But yeah, I would say that's actually not. It's not the norm.
One of the worst actually was early on. There was, you remember Full Auto 2?
No.
It sounds familiar.
It was a combat racing game. The first was on 360, and then they put Full Auto 2 on PS3, and then also like Marvel Ultimate Alliance on there. And both of those games had native 1080p modes that ran so bad, like 15, 20 frames per second. So,
yeah, I mean, but I think it's important to stress that is not like the standard on the system by any means. Like by and large, resolution does not, system level resolution does not play into game performance.
Somebody's saying HDCP protection, so we never get the test models. Wait, what?
The test models can play Blu-ray or something like that, I think it was saying.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, I have one of those test models, and they are nice because everything's region-free, including the backwards compatibility.
But you can get around HDCP by using certain HDMI splitters.
Well, what he's saying is that they don't. I was pretty sure on the test model you can actually turn HDCP on, if I recall, but I haven't actually tested.
I thought it was hardware based.
Maybe so.
And that's why you can never turn it off.
Oh no, on a regular PS3, but the test model,
right?
The debug stations, those actually allow you to have HDCP off, like within the system itself. So that's one of the nice things about them.
There was $5 from Craig Wan saying these heroes from Time Crisis 4 could be a little less douche. Just saying. Anyway,
just a little bit.
Just saying. Anyway, great seeing you guys. What a way to start the day. Thank you. There was also there's been another little surge here. There was $5 from Alan Batsford. Thank you, saying light gun game like action has returned in VR gaming. That's kind of true.
That's actually true. Yeah, VR is awesome for light gun style games. And in fact,
I'll have to try that.
One of my favorite things is still I always mention this, but I have to mention it again. New Retro Arcade, which is that virtual arcade that you can play in VR on your PC. And you basically build a virtual arcade. It's got a super 80s aesthetic, which just feels awesome to be there in VR. And you can get all the cabinet artwork. So, I have an arcade set up with like all these classic arcade games, but you can also use like the Time Crisis games and such and other like light gun shooters inside the virtual arcade, and you play it with motion controls and everything. So, like the hand controls, like from the Oculus Rift or whatever you're using. And so it actually feels like you're in VR playing on a virtual screen in this virtual arcade using your hands, and it feels incredible. It's really great.
There were a few several free games that Sony was offering to everyone on I assume you could redeem them on PS4. But a bunch of PS4 games, a lot of them were VR games that they're offering for free for I'm not sure how long. But I think there were a few light gun like games, like it's called like Farpoint or something like that.
Oh, Farpoint, yeah.
I've not played it, but I mean that's
bad.
like some kind of VR shooter, right?
It is. It's fun.
There
was
was
the thing is though is again PSVR. The headset's fine, but using Move as a VR controller is so bad, like compared to what the PC offers. Like I love PSVR headset, but man, seriously, have you tried like actual like proper hand track controllers in a PC VR setup?
That's music.
I've only had like a couple of opportunities to try PC VR.
Music.
It feels
so
amazing.
I
can't hear it.
Oh, it's just believe me, it's really bad.
Listen up. Hey, you listening?
Wait.
mission is to deliver the coordinates of Garrett's base so we can launch an attack with a satellite laser cannon.
What's so bad? The music or the voice acting?
The music, I think.
Okay, that's.
I mean, it's not to my preference.
It's
Yeah,
douche rock.
Yeah, douche rock. Yeah.
There was $10 from EV.
It's like makes me think of like Shine Down or something like that. Maybe not. It's a little bit faster than that, but I don't know. Like that's not something I listen to very much. But
You don't listen to douche rock?
not that much.
All right.
There was $10 from EV Chill too, saying, "Hey Corey and Try, I won my first auction on eBay.
Wow.
For the Namco 109 with the sensors. What was the one? Is that the GunCon 3 or are we talking about something else?
Maybe it is. It says destructible environments too. I don't know. I mean, my GunCon 3, it's such a hassle to take out and get set up for one game essentially that after I did that video, I haven't used it since I did that Time Crisis video.
I'm looking up what the Namco 109 is. It is it's the GunCon 3.
These guys they could just easily kill me. Look, they're like all up in my face, and like none of them even shot at me.
EV
like
Chill 2
cheering.
also said, Corey, someone is selling Time Crisis 5 cabinet for £13,000. I sent you a tweet, and after this chat, it's only 12,994 pounds.
I thought
Something to think about.
I don't think that my wife would be very cool with that coming into the house. I don't know where I'd put it. I put it in our bedroom probably, because it wouldn't fit anywhere else.
And then there was 199 once again from the Polyester Pimp, saying, "Ride to Hell Retribution next."
Corey's favorite.
Yeah, I don't have it. I've never played it.
I think I have an idea of which game that is. I think it's considered pretty bad, right?
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah. It's like one of those famously bad games.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like the way things are going, that's the kind of game that Balan Wonderworld is going to be in the company of.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, but I mean
People are
that's just
insane.
like based on just like how people are treating it, I guess. It's going to be on the same kind of list as that.
Corey, I think there was a non-super chat one
Sure.
from Rock Solid Productions.
Yeah. Let me scroll up here. Yeah. Thank you. $3 from Rock Solid. Yeah. Rock Solid Productions saying thank you guys for helping me educate and inspire me and my channel over the years. SCART, question for you. Do you have opinions on the Otaku game SCART switches? Insurrection cables are half the price of AC Retrovision, and I have 3 additional systems to connect to. So there was recently that one Otaku SCART switch that came out. It must have been like late last summer. And Bob did a video on it, and apparently it like severely degrades the video from like a PS1, like if it draws more voltage or something like that. So there is a review of it on Retro RGB on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. But the insurrection cables are definitely very good. I mean, they are just a more affordable, readily available option. And if you don't need like, the crazy like coaxial shielding and stuff that like you get from like Retro Access, then the insurrection cables are readily available and an excellent choice. Obviously with the Retro Access coaxial ones, like you're going to wait a little longer and you're going to pay a bit more. But that is what most of my setup is, because I do have like 2 daisy chained SCART G-SCART switchers, and so I'm doing a lot of routing with them, and it does make a difference to have the best shielded cables you can and that kind of setup. But if your setup is not going to be overly complex, the insurrection cables are excellent choices.
So it should just be all Monster Cable all the time. The blue ones.
And then there was also $10 from Nikes Zero. Thank you. Saying there's another peripheral move called the PS Move Racing Wheel. Motion sensor wheel that works with many racing games like Little Big Planet Karting, Mod Nation Racers, etc. It's like a Wii wheel, but for Move. On the Backloggery stream on Monday, we were talking about I'll be right back. Motion controls and Mario Kart Wii and
Mocos.
And our friend Drumble, he was.
Wait, what's going on there? I thought Corey hit.
I'm doing it. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna.
Oh, but he was like going up. I thought the Move controller was on the loose and like on PS3.
But yeah, we were talking about just recently, like our friend Drumble, he was all about the motion controls in Mario Kart Wii for a long time, and he got like the gold wheel in online mode, where like
the gold wheel.
Yeah, if you like won a bunch of races like using motion controls, you got a gold wheel, and you would encounter like a lot of people with the gold wheel on Mario Kart Wii Online. There were people who were very good at it, but in my own experience, I played 50cc and 100cc with the wheel. And, at first I was like, this is kind of fun, right? And then once I got to 150cc, I just could not win at all. And then the very first time I ever tried playing the game with the nunchuck, I like lapped someone on the first track of the Mushroom Cup on 150cc, and I'm like, okay, well, that's a difference.
Yeah.
So I switched over to nunchuck and never looked back. So yeah, it's to be honest, I know, John, you're a huge fan of racing games. I have never used a wheel in either the arcade or at home that even where they have like some resistance and some pullback to them and stuff. I've never used one that actually felt like driving, like real driving, like it just
a wheel.
Yeah, like I've never used one that really truly felt just like using a real car.
I've only used one, and it was at E3 2 or 3 years ago. They had this gigantic hydraulic like car thing that you would sit in with like a steering wheel set up to play Forza 7. And like the whole thing, like, I mean, it was a beast. It was huge. This is not something most people would ever have at home, but they mount a giant screen on it and you get the steering wheel. And that was actually pretty darn convincing.
Wow.
It's about as good as I could imagine while being stationary.
Do you prefer to play racing games with an analog stick?
I've had a lot of fun playing some games. So I prefer playing like sim style games with a wheel. Mm-hmm. Like I found like Gran Turismo is a lot more enjoyable with a wheel.
Are there like current gen or last gen like wheels?
Yeah, there's some.
There's like official ones. Are they like officially supported?
I can't remember, but there's stuff like Fanatec, especially. They put out pretty good wheels and have a really nice feel and good force feedback, and those are pretty good. And I think it helps for arcade games, though. I don't know, like Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer is a D-pad game for me, which is one of the reasons.
Even the modern ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're D-pad games, man. Oh, Sandy.
Yeah. Well, come here, Soph. Come here. We're gonna have a little competition. I can't really see her very well.
Oh.
There she is.
There was.
There we go. I have no animal here, except for my son. He can get a little crazy sometimes.
There was $5 from Ben Brody. I don't know if it's on John's screen, but this is a request for John, saying
yeah?
$5. But John has to say it like Dr. Light from Mega Man 8, and Try has to laugh like Dr. Wily from Mega Man 8 after John says it. Oh my gosh,
Wait,
I might not be too good at Dr.
Do I have
Wily.
to read? Wait, do I have to read this?
You have to read this like
Super chat?
Dr. Light. You have
So
to
it'd be
read
like,
it like Dr. Light in Mega Man 8. I have to do the Wily laugh.
$5, but John has to say it like Dr. Light from Mega Man 8, and Try has to laugh like Dr. Wily. I can't do it.
You gotta put lots of wow, like whoa, wowie.
I don't quite remember
Mega
what Dr. Wily
All L's
sounds
have
like
to
it.
be
I remember what
W's,
Dr.
right?
Light sounds like. $5, but John has to say it like Dr. Light for Mega Man. Mega Man
that's
8.
right. I have to say it like Dr. Wily. Dr. Wily is
Dr. Wily.
Dr. Wily is up to no good. Mega Man.
I love that little sort of like hesitation he has when he says Mega Man's name. It's so good.
Oh my gosh. Dr. Wily.
Dr.
Wily.
Corey, there might be another non-super chat in here.
Sure thing. Yeah, from Eric. $1 from Eric
yeah.
saying Sony backwards compatibility is a feature often requested but often ignored. Also, Sony bankrolls their engineers to create an awesome backwards compatible solution for PS5. Which is it? I thought it wasn't a valuable feature. Well, I think that I don't know. I think that they just determine what is like worth it.
There's gonna have to be different people in charge at Sony for that to
Oh,
happen.
I gotta. Why am I?
I tend to agree.
Here's a good question that John might have some insights on. $5 from NCR Ranger saying, what are some multi-platform games that are worth getting the PS3 version of over the 360 counterpart?
Oh man, there's actually.
I mean,
not
you
that
know,
many.
one from back in the day, of course, would have been again Final Fantasy 13, much better on PS3,
Yeah.
especially because of
Final Fantasy 13.
the video
for
code.
sure.
But on the flip side, you can play the 360 version in 4K on current gen
Yeah,
systems.
I know.
But the FMV quality is still it's better than if you played on a real 360, but it's still nowhere near actual PS3 video quality.
I gotta switch my controls
Yeah,
again.
I guess just browsing through again real quick to think about this because there's not a lot. That's the thing is.
I mean, later in the
games were not-
generation, they were hitting
They got,
pretty close
like
parity,
stuff
but
like Burnout Paradise, you know, the Need for Speed games. Those are pretty much have parity. Dante's Inferno had parity between them. Oh, Bionic Commando Rearmed and Rearmed 2 are better on PS3 for sure.
what about the Bionic Commando 3D game, which I
That-
think is
that-
actually pretty good.
That's a mess on those consoles, dude. It's
How's
got so
the-
many problems. PC version's the best for that by far.
But there's
I think it's
a
pretty
version
good game,
for
actually.
It is.
there's a version for it's backwards compatible on Xbox One.
Oh, is it really?
Wow. Okay.
At least
I'll have to look for that version.
I think Portal 2 was that also on 360?
Yeah, it
I
was.
think it was. Yeah. I
It's
think it was
backwards
better on-
compatible.
I think it was
Is the
better on
PS3 version better?
It was slightly better, if I recall.
Probably not anymore, though.
No, probably.
If you
It
play it on
wouldn't be.
current
It would not be the optimal version to play.
I mean, that was the version I played back in the day. I mean, that's such a good game.
Oh, Star Ocean 4, The Last Hope. That PS3 version is better than the 360 original.
What about
Vanquish? Vanquish is much better on PS3 than
Really?
the Xbox. The Xbox version is a mess. It has like non-stop screen tearing.
That's kind of surprising considering, like, you know, Bayonetta is famously
Well,
way better on.
totally different like technology behind those
Yeah.
games.
What about Binary Domain? That's a game I really like that game.
That's pretty bad on PS3. There's a lot of slow
I did play it on PS3, but so the 360 version.
I got that for
360 version
$2
was much smoother, and then also there's a PC version. So.
That's a really neat game though. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a handful of games that are similar or better on PS3, but During that generation, the 360 really had an advantage. A lot of stuff, anything that used Unreal Engine was almost always much better on 360.
I mean, wasn't I mean, if I understand how the PS3 works correctly, like, doesn't it have like very little like native GPU processing, and they're basically expected to create GPU functions on the cells?
Oh, so hold on. Somebody said Sonic Generations on PS3 because it has a 3D mode, but no, dude. Sonic Generations on the PS3 is a choppy mess compared to the 360 version. Both of those Sonic games, they're really sloppy in the PS3. Not good.
I feel like I don't know how to.
So wait, you were saying again, Try?
Well, I mean, I was just thinking, like, I remember, I believe it was an old Richard article on, like, I think it was on Digital Foundry.
So the RSX, the NVIDIA GPU, was definitely significantly less capable than the 360's GPU. It was a huge bottleneck for the system. But the cell processor, when used well, essentially a lot of the best developers, as far as I remember, they really leaned heavily on cells SPEs to sort of make up for the weak GPU. So like, I know like in some games, like per object motion blur, for instance, was often done on the CPU for PS3 games. And a lot of other things were also done on the CPU to save GPU time. So it seems like a lot of games really offloaded as much as they could away from running on the GPU. On
so
PS3,
it's almost like the PS3 like graphics were largely rendered in software.
Not really, but like a lot of passes were done.
Interesting.
On it to sort of improve performance, and it worked because that's why a lot of the early stuff is so choppy, because people were still figuring that stuff out, and then later on in the generation, developers really started to utilize what you could do with those SPEs. So
there was $2 from Goodnight Irene saying such a cute dog. Well, thank you. I think so as well. Saying, by the way, have you guys tried RPC S3? Is that the PC emulator for PS3? I have not.
Oh, it's good. I've tried it. It's actually really, really good. I'm impressed with how it actually improves performance a lot on a lot of games that have issues.
Really?
So it's a pretty significant boost, I would say.
Are the requirements pretty steep, or not as bad as you'd think?
They're not as bad as you might think. It's very reasonable, I would say. So definitely worth trying just to get a feel for it, because it's pretty impressive.
There was $5 from Random Piece. Thank you. Saying under PS3 account management, transaction management, you can access your download list that uses the old PSN UI. Highly recommend over PSN Store. Yeah, we discovered that you can, like, if you load up a game that has like a function that takes you to the PlayStation Store for like downloading DLC or something like that, you can also access your download list that way. Oh man, it's so much better. It's so crazy to think that I used to be like, when Sony announced that they were making a revamp of the store, I was like kind of excited for it. I was like, oh yeah, I bet that'd be great. And then it was so garbage. The old one was so much smoother. It just runs so much better.
It really did, right? Like it was. They really dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, but I didn't know that you could access that outside of the game.
I think I remember using that actually, and it does help a lot.
Yeah,
it's faster.
I should go down that and make sure I've got everything downloaded. I think I do, but I mean, there might be some DLC or something that's not. So I might have to check that out. There was 20 DKKs. I'm not sure what currency that is. I'd be very curious. From Jonathan Yannick Thomason. Thank you. Saying most obscure game that you guys love. Ooh.
Obscure? Oh, that's a really tough one, because I feel like once you start talking about things, they become less obscure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you one that's really obscure. I'll actually pull it down. So I actually have a sealed copy of this, but I also had a loose disc. But this one,
What is it?
It's called 9: The Last Resort, and it's a weird PC graphic adventure from back in the day. And listen to this. So executive producer Robert De Niro, featuring characters Cher, Christopher Reeve, James Belushi, Steven Tyler, Joe Perry. It had a weird all-star cast, but I've never spoken to anybody else that's ever played this game. And I don't know, like, I feel like it was like weirdly missed. And then along the same lines, a lot of other PC stuff. Like, I loved Rocket Jockey for the PC. I had so much fun playing Rocket Jockey. It was published by Sega, even on the PC, and nobody seems to have heard of that either, or like very few people have played it. And so, when I think obscure, it's kind of stuff like that. But yeah.
I mean, my traditional answer to that question, which I don't think is really that obscure, but like this was, before I had started buying like a whole bunch of, a lot more games now than I used to have. Like my token kind of obscure game in my collection used to be Kiwi Craze on the NES, which, is much better known in Europe and Japan than it is, in
that is
the US.
Not obscure here, that's for sure. They love it here.
New Zealand story is very well known over there, but over here, like, it was pretty obscure in America, but I would not consider that obscure anymore.
That's right. I'll be right
but
back.
like, thinking of weird PC games, I think I've mentioned this to you before, John.
He'll be right back. He said.
Oh,
but you can
never
continue.
mind.
I mean, if you can mention it again when he comes back.
Yeah, there was $5 from Rears the Blood saying I tested Alice Madness Returns on the Series X, and the original Alice does indeed work on there. It is also free to download from the store now. Does that mean Madness Returns is free to download, or the original Alice is free to download, or can you download Alice without Madness Returns? Either way, this is very good news, and I need to get
because that's something that you probably wanted to play. I've wanted to always. Now that
I
I think about it, I think I might have
too.
it. I might have the digital version now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, that's a game I've always wanted to play.
Which one are you talking about?
Alice. Rears the Blood was saying that I tested Madness Returns on the Series X, and original Alice does indeed work on there. It is also free to download from the store now. So
that's cool. Wow.
This is very good news.
Maybe check it out. I like those games.
John, I was going to say, you were talking about weird PC games. I think I mentioned this to you before. Someone had a stream on the Backloggery a couple of years ago, a PC game called Eastern Mind.
Oh,
that is so weird, and like I know that when I mention a game that you haven't heard of, I know it's got to be pretty obscure, right?
Yeah, I actually don't know that one.
It is so freaking weird.
Wait, seeing the ad though, I remember seeing this ad in magazines.
There's
back
like
in
this
the day with
this
the green
like,
face.
There's like this weird face.
Yeah,
and like you start off the game by just clicking around the face and like turning the head and like finding a way to like get inside the head, and you like eventually like click through the ear, and
okay, I need to check that out.
The game expands from there. It is so weird, and like what's kind of interesting about it is you create a character that is made up of I think it's like eyes, nose, and mouth, and there's something like 3 or 4 of each. And over the course of the game, you have to make you die, and then you have to be reincarnated as another character. And over the course of the game, you have to create every combination of eyes, nose, and mouth to be a different character. And you realize over the course of the game that these very incidental characters that you ran into are actually you, like another reincarnation of you, like you play the role of something else that you encountered over the course of the game, and sometimes it's something really unexpected. It is a strange but interesting. I don't know if it's good per se, but it is super interesting.
That is interesting.
So I'm putting this in because I haven't really played it. John, I'm sure you played through this.
Oh yeah, I finished that back in the day. It has some amazing cutscenes.
I played a little bit of this the other day for the first time. I mean, Andy Serkis was pretty heavily involved with this. And
with
he
this
was
one,
again,
or he was enslaved? He was, but I'm not sure.
Both of them.
He's in this one too.
Really?
He's the villain in this game.
Huh.
And he does an awesome job in it.
I feel like a lot of people have very mixed feelings on Ninja Theory, but I've honestly really liked every game of theirs that I've played.
It was written 23 years ago.
Yeah, me too. They're actually.
I just remember this.
Aside though, I just see somebody mentioning that they picked up Balan Wonderworld based in the chat, and that's cool. But I do want to caution: don't buy the Switch version. It's horrible. So. I assume the PS4 version's pretty okay. It's really solid on PS5, but Switch version is a technical mess. So definitely avoid that.
There was £2 from Couch Multiplayer again saying change the title to Lassie Watches PS3 Gaming.
Yeah.
I do think that'd be a better title than Games Still Worth Playing. But
this game is pretty breezy, right? It's like 4 hours long or something.
I think it's pretty short.
It's quite short.
I can appreciate that.
I mean, there's a lot of people who like this game did not get good reviews. I think because one, it was short, combat, pretty simple, or nothing really all that new to it. But I think it's a good tight experience.
Yeah, and I think that this is going to be a game that will be regarded in the same way. It's probably The Order 1886.
Yeah,
a game that was disappointing to people. Yeah, at the time, but then has become, or will be thought of as like a very tight, cohesive experience. You just kind of
exactly.
It's
enjoyable. A fun experience.
Yeah,
exactly.
There was £2 from Spartan 2. Thank you, saying, "All right, what's the most expensive game you own?"
For me, it's definitely either Snatcher or Pop Mail at this point.
Yeah, it's
Snatcher probably.
I have Snatcher as well, but I think Panorama Cotton might be worth more than that now. I don't know. They're comparable.
Yeah, I mean,
they're both up there.
The most that I've spent was on a loose Shantae cart. But for all I know, I could own something else that's more expensive. But obviously, I bought it before it became really expensive. There was something I learned about the other day that I have that was a lot more expensive than I realized. I think it was a conversation in the MLiG Discord, and I'm trying to think what was it? What was it? I wonder if I could do a search on the Discord channel.
One of the weird ones thinking of that is I mentioned it before, but Lost in the Rain, the PS3 game. I still have a sealed copy of the English language disc version of that.
That's really expensive now, right?
It's so rarely for sale, but the couple times I've ever seen it sold, it went for like well over $500. So I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a lot of those out there. There's also a Japanese version that's in Japanese that you can get much cheaper.
Oh, I think. Hang on. What was it? Let's see. Oh, yeah. I guess like Dragon Quest V on DS goes for like $250.
And that got a reprint. What? It was really expensive for a while, and then it got a reprint, or at least maybe new old stock was found, and then it went down a bunch. Now I guess it's back up. I just saw a thing that Dragon Quest VIII on the 3DS is like getting up there close to 100 now.
Really? You and I both got a copy of that for like $20 Walmart clearance like 2 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Wait, so Dragon Quest V is up there now? Because I actually have a sealed copy of that still.
On the DS version, yeah. The
I have
English
the
DS version.
Dang, I didn't realize it was going for that
Yeah,
much.
I had no idea either. But yeah, that's
Oof,
that's
okay.
great. I mean, then of course, like I think like all of the DS and GBA Castlevania games, I think are pretty valuable. Like those are games that I just like never even considered like not buying right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I want to think Harmony of Dissonance, like I bought like a few weeks after it came out, but like otherwise I bought all of those games day one. Like I gotta have my Castlevania day one, you know? I mean I wouldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah, I have them all. Actually, that's funny. Weirdly, the third DS game, after Portrait of Ruin. Which one is that again? With the witch.
Order of Ecclesia?
Yeah.
Yeah, Order of Ecclesia. That's the one.
That one's
That's
it's up there now too.
I bought that one in Paris, so I got the PAL version of that version in the thicker case because it was the first time I ever visited France back in like 2009 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing it at a shop, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just get this version because it's weird to have a DS game that's like this from this region."
Oh, weird. So this has a God of War style dodge on the right stick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So no camera.
Yeah, the
control
camera
for
actually moves with R2 and L2.
There's some tearing, but that's okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of screen tearing in this game, unfortunately. Oh, that's right. You use the shoulder buttons to adjust the camera.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's like kind of a
Oh, but it uses the analog
preset.
triggers.
It's interesting. I mean, I did not play beyond this little battle here. There was $5 from EB Chill 2. Thank you. Saying my biggest issue / joy on the PS3 is figuring out how to use analog for CRT or HDMI on a flat screen. Analog for CRT or HDMI. I mean, I think it only outputs one at a time, so I guess you would have to unplug the composite, or you don't have to unplug them. It's just that if you have HDMI plugged in, you have it set to analog, the system will always prompt you when you turn it on, like, do you want to switch to HDMI? And then says, my obscure game would be Initial D Extreme.
Oh, that sounds cool.
John, do you have Auto Modelista? Because that's another one that is it's getting up there. Like, I think the GameCube version at least is expensive.
I used to have them. I won that. I won that in a contest, and I traded in at FuncoLand like way back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, that's an interesting game, isn't it? It's one of those cell shaded games that I think at the time it was said that it didn't play as good as it looked, and then it was forgotten about for a long time. But I guess it's probably actually pretty decent. And you know, it makes me think of a game that is not expensive and actually got re-releases, that cell shaded FPS game, the 13.
Oh, 13.
Oh yeah, that was not very well received, was it?
Yeah,
I liked that game, but the remake was pretty bad. If I recall.
Yeah, I remember hearing
that
that
ruined the style.
Oh really?
Yeah, I remember hearing there was a lot of backlash against the remake. There was 50 NOKs again
Thank you.
from Andy Lon. Thank you.
It's Andy again.
Saying Heavenly Sword is a technical masterpiece, but Enslaved is their best in my opinion.
Enslaved is really
Enslaved
good.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
Yeah, I should. Is that backwards compatible?
I don't know.
I should get the 360. I've got it on PS3, but I should get the 360.
Oh,
version, so.
dude, oh man, the PS3 version is so bad.
That's one I
knew
have.
you would say that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
I mean,
choppy,
I was playing it, the other week. And
Dude.
yeah, it's pretty rough, but it is. I mean, it's a fun game to play. But yeah, it's definitely pretty rough. But I mean, yeah, I didn't have a 360 back in this generation, So. I think my favorite Ninja Theory game is.
It looks like Enslaved is on there, dude. So it is on the backwards compatible list.
I'll have to buy that version if I see it.
I bet it runs pretty decently. Then I mean, it probably runs perfectly at 30 on there anyway.
I'm sure. Yeah, I think it's perfect.
But yeah, I liked Enslaved a lot. But I think my favorite Ninja Theory game is Hellblade. I'm really looking forward to Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh yeah, Hellblade.
I thought that was just a really great and interesting sort of. Just it had great combat. I mean, a lot of ways, like Heavenly Sword, you know, is this very tight, focused, sort of shorter experience with, you know, some great combat mechanics, I guess.
I wonder if it's
just really interesting presentation for that game. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah.
She's got to be freezing.
Oh, that guy's face always bothered me because the characters look so good and nicely modeled overall, but something about his face feels off to me. Maybe it's his
the
hair.
bad guy kind of does look like Andy Serkis, though.
That's not the bad guy.
I know, but when you see him, the guy who I believe is the bad guy. When you see him, he kind of does look like Andy Serkis.
Definitely.
Look, another wave approaching.
Yeah, you've played a little further into this than I did. Did you have to do anything in particular, or did it just?
No, I just gotta fight everybody. Oh, cool. How do you block though? Does it just happen? That's good. I mean, it seems very simple to play, but that's a lot of the fun.
Yeah, there's actually motion control stuff coming up.
Oh, really?
Which is not terrible, but you have to control. You like fire something. I forget what weapon her sister uses, and you actually control the trajectory of it with the motion control.
I'm just unlocking special features here like crazy.
Special features?
Oh. Yeah, it says so-and-so unlocked. Like crazy. I mean, it seems pretty cool. I mean, I could see spending like an afternoon playing through this.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's like only like 4 or 5 hours.
That seems like the ideal way to play it, I would say.
Yeah. A fun, breezy experience.
Yeah, the PS3 has plenty of fun, breezy experiences.
I mean, it seems like the kind of game that might have been like targeted as like a download game if it had come out like when they were releasing games of this scale at that time.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. I think that this was definitely a showpiece for the system.
Oh, it
really.
was, but I'm just saying. But it was an
huge.
earlier game, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
very
later
early.
on, it might have been different.
Yeah.
Right.
But
this was
because
hyped
I mean,
a lot at
wasn't
first.
I remember it
wasn't
being on the
Hellblade?
show Heroes. Like there was a clip of it on the
Yep.
show Heroes at the time.
Man, I see somebody talking about 360 games, how they're all scratched up and everything, and it got me thinking again about how. Did you notice like when you buy like a used game in Japan, it's like they'll be like, oh, you know, they're super damaged, you know, caution. You get it, and it's like, oh, it's like 99% flawless. It looks like it just came out of the shrink wrap, but there's like one tiny mark in the corner, and then I feel like in the US you get something and it's like perfect condition. You get it, it looks like somebody drug it over the gravel or something.
Yeah, it's
and like spit in the manual and crumpled it all up. I mean, it's like good condition.
yeah, it's such a cultural difference there, and it affects the pricing a lot more too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just skipping the cutscenes. I'm sorry.
The cutscenes are the best part, though.
Oh, here's the gun you're talking about, I assume.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There was 10 pounds from Sandy B. No relation to Sandy the fluffy dog.
Sandy D.
Saying, would you rather have to make yourself look as much like Donald Trump as possible, including toupee and very orange spray tan, 5 days a week, or only be able to eat mashed potatoes for the rest of your life?
What kind of question
That's a very
is
weird
that?
question.
Why?
Neither of those sound
What the
terribly
heck?
appealing.
That sounds horrible.
I
Why
like
would you
mashed
ever?
potatoes, though. But
Yeah, could
I
you
might
put
not
stuff
like
on the
ma-
mashed potatoes?
Yeah, I mean, mashed potatoes can be a good base, I guess, for
Yeah.
flavor.
It's so weird.
This guy, I can't
Wow.
get him. I can't get him. He's like, okay, hold.
Oh, that's not the motion control part. That's the
Oh, I
sniping
see.
part.
Interesting. So you can like guide it in the air.
Oh wait,
Oh
is
yeah,
there-
That's kinda
Actually,
awesome.
it
Is there, like,
yeah.
motion-
That is it. That
It's
is
like,
it.
how do you think she shoots this arrow?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
like a
it's
Sam,
that's right.
It's like
it's like a
basically.
Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
It's like a Sam
It's like-
Raimi shot. It's kind of awesome.
Corey's the ultimate salesman for motion control.
Like
I can see him on stage at an E3 demo. You just move your controller to steer the arrow.
Oh gosh,
it's like second nature.
I was watching
I can't hit this guy.
after I bought.
It's like skim his head.
Can't do it.
After I got Genji
Oh, finally.
nailed the other day, I had
Yeah.
to go back and look at the original
Right in
E3
between his legs, I can't.
2006 Supercut.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I had to go back and look at, and I totally forgot about the one where the guy is like moving the controller to fly the ship and like keeps like bumping into like
Oh yeah.
the stuff. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that part. It's so funny.
Like I'm coming so close to hitting him every time. It's like literally just like going between his legs. That time it hit his crossbow. It hit the wood on his crossbow.
Motion control. I don't remember having this kind of trouble, to be honest. So I don't know what you're doing.
Come here, say it.
It's like hitting his gun.
You hit his gun.
Keeps going on and on.
Oh my god.
It's impossible.
Oh my god. What on earth?
Come on.
Okay.
Right over his head.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that's like actually hitting him though. Maybe it's actually hitting him.
Can you like loop it back around and then hit him from the back?
No, I mean if I could do that, it'd probably be easier than doing what I'm doing. I mean,
Oh
can I?
my goodness.
Yeah, look at this.
And people wonder why Lair got flack at launch.
That video clip, and I'm not even sure what game it is that they were showing with the motion controls in that E3
Warhawk.
2006 conference. But it is so funny.
It's Warhawk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is so funny. I mean, you got to go back and look at that.
Dude.
those supercuts of that conference.
I'm just
sometimes, 'cause
thinking, like,
it's-
what if
so
this was part of the conference, though?
They're showing us
Heavenly
like,
Son- like got Corey up there doing that.
like it's so
It's so
natural. Look at
easy.
it. It's like this.
You just move your hands. It's like magic.
I mean, I feel like it's easier if I don't actually try to control it.
I feel like you have got to be doing something fundamentally wrong.
How do you shoot that arrow? How do you think she shoots that? It's like does all that crazy stuff.
He's giving up.
Yeah, I missed 11.
Oh, there's. They
Still
were just
got-
running it over there on the side.
There was $5
Like, it's
from-
always so close too. That's the thing that gets
like-
me. It's like it's literally like inches away from them. These guys have got to be feeling like they're invincible. Like they can't. Like it's divine intervention here.
there was
I was
$5
meant to
from,
live through all of this.
There was $5 from Robert Hernandez.
Thank you.
Thank you. Saying if you had to recommend the Xbox One hardware to someone who skipped that generation, which hardware revision would you recommend and why? I mean, is there any reason other than cost to not just buy one of the current gen ones?
Wait, what?
I mean, to not buy a Series X instead of a Xbox One S or Xbox One X. Like,
You can't. I don't like Xbox One X. They're
Dude.
not producing it anymore. It's like it's.
oh, that's true.
Probably
yeah.
hard to
There's,
find.
There's zero reason
Oh, I
to
hit
get
his
an
foot.
Xbox One X or an Xbox One. Just get a Series X, honestly.
Yeah.
I
Or
know there's a
if
cost.
physical is not important to you, then Series S, is. Yeah, I mean, I mean everything should run better on
Yeah,
the new
exactly.
systems. Like
And
everything, like
it
the only.
does. There is zero reason
I mean,
to play on
can't.
Xbox One X.
I mean, other than like, are Kinect games compatible? If you get like the
I don't even
adapter?
I don't think Kinect works anymore at all. Like I think it's removed from, or maybe I guess the games might
The
work.
games have to work, right?
I guess
At least
they
on
do.
Xbox One, but I don't know about.
Yeah.
Oh, I knocked him into the the well.
I guess the problem though, as somebody mentioned, is that it is actually still difficult to get the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously
So-
it's expensive, but like I
It
feel
is
like
expensive, but it's
I
worth.
feel like you're. I mean, once
if
you're
you're
already.
gonna, if you're gonna get into Xbox at this point, there's really zero reason to not get the Series X over any of the others, unless you find like an Xbox One X for like very cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it was basically free, then that'd be a good way to get started. But like there's just almost no reason to have the One X around anymore. I don't.
Yeah, I
think.
mean, I am not even haven't even turned mine on, except for to see if it does
I
480p.
have retired it pretty much, other than if we have to use it in a video. But
Yeah. I was shocked that not even the Xbox One VCR does 480p. Like it's not even it has a safe mode that you can boot into, but it's like
right.
it's like 480p, or 640 by 480, but like the box, like the actual image inside of that box is like window box inside of 640 by 480.
Oh,
I was surprised that it's not even an option.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the one unique thing about an Xbox One Series system over a Series system, I should have phrased that better. A Xbox One system rather than a Series system, if for whatever bizarre reason you had a use for the HDMI input. That is no longer a feature. It does, make OSSC more compatible with like, capture cards and stuff.
That's true, though. There's other solutions to this.
Yes.
Wink, wink. But that's probably the only thing I can think about for it.
Yeah,
Right now, to be
I did use it one time to stream a PC adventure game that was not cooperating, and it wouldn't display on the screen that I wanted it to display on, no matter what I did. So I just fed that monitor. I was just like, okay, you win. I'm putting that monitor into my Xbox One and playing it that way, because it was an adventure game, point and click adventure game. It didn't even matter. But I was trying to stream it, and that was the easiest way to do it. So it can have its obscure uses for sure. But
oh man, somebody mentions how the Xbox One has an optical Toslink port, and the Series doesn't.
Oh,
but that they decided to remove it based on user data, I believe. But the when they first showed the Series X, it had the Toslink port.
Oh, really?
And in fact, the ones that we saw back in March had that port at Microsoft. But they were like, "Oh, actually, don't talk about, or not don't talk about it." It's like this isn't going to be in the final unit, basically, because apparently it was not used much at all. So alas,
this game this is like such a weird game.
Wait, what is this?
Is this PlayStation All Stars Battle
Royale?
Royale?
It is Battle Royale.
Yeah.
With the worst menu system I've ever seen. Like
But
this really feels like something that Sony should have been ready for. Like,
yeah,
it's
there's good ideas too.
I mean,
what was it? What it said at the beginning, it says use the Blue Point engine. It's like the Blue Point games logo.
Yeah, it did say that.
So what?
Oh,
I don't
interesting.
think they developed this though.
No, I don't think so.
No, this was like what was it? It's such a weird name. Like
But
it's like Android. It's like a I don't remember what it was.
this game was like a huge flop though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Which is like it's so crazy to think about because like on one hand, like it feels like PlayStation should have the star power behind it to pull off something almost as well as Smash. I mean, Nintendo's been around for way longer, but by the time this came out, there were people who had mostly grown up on PlayStation and stuff like that. Like, it feels like this should have worked, but then it just, I don't know, it just fell flat, I guess.
But see, this has some ideas that I loved in it, like the transforming levels. Like you'd go from like a Parappa stage, and then like a Killzone mech would come in and rip the stage in half, and then now you're in a Killzone battlefield, stuff like that, where it's like they basically mix games together. Like one game world like bursts into the other game world, and I thought that was really neat stuff.
There was $4.99 from Ghost Days. Saying I have a physical PS3 copy of Resident Evil Remake non-Japanese version with English in-game menus, prized possession in my RE collection. Interesting. Is that? I wonder if that's a pretty uncommon version. I love having versions of Resident Evil games that I don't need. Like I don't know why of all series, like that's one that's just like, oh, I want to own some version of this that I don't need. Like, I don't know. I just like owning different versions of Resident Evil games.
Oh, that's right. You can only win by using super moves, right?
Right.
I think I played a demo of this at some point, but I don't remember anything about how it plays. There was $5 from Miles Narenberg. Thank you, saying that was the most incredible display of shooting I've ever seen. It was incredible. I was incredulous. I was incredulous the entire time I watched it. It was, incredible does not necessarily imply goodness.
Yeah, that was something. I gotta say, I enjoyed that.
There was $2 from For the Love of the Game again, saying cat on the PS3, gravity leak win. Yeah, I mean, considering
unfortunately she's paid DLC, so I can't.
Considering the director of the Gravity Rush series is no longer at Sony,
it's over.
We're probably not going to see it again. I mean, Gravity Rush 2 did pretty much wrap up the story eventually.
Yeah, so they knew probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you learn about Cat's origins and stuff like that. Eventually, like the thing that frustrated me about Gravity Rush 2 was like it's almost like two completely separate, or really kind of three stories. There's like it's almost like two games in one, where like.
Look at this. There we go. It's like just Parappa with this rocket launcher.
That's hilarious looking.
There's like Gravity Rush 2 is almost like two games in one, where like, okay, there you go, this one town and it kind of has this self-contained story, and then like it has like a final boss to that town and everything, and then you go to another town and there's its own kind of like self-contained story, and there's a final boss to that too, and then and then you beat the game, but then kind of, and then there's like almost a post game after that that's like much shorter and like actually wraps up Cat's story. It's like like the interesting stuff like almost happens when the game is pretty much
this
over.
Will be the last.
I like the first Gravity Rush more, but the second one is a neat game, but I do prefer the first one.
All right, so I'll play this a little bit and then we'll think about wrapping up. Yeah, wrapping up after I just play like a little bit of this and then.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we got Cat. We got Emmett Graves. Is from Killzone maybe. Who's unlocked or is costs money. Then you got Zeus and Isaac. Oh, you got Spike from Ape Escape.
I wonder how much that if that roster
then they have Dante.
Oh yeah, from DMC Devil May Cry.
I wonder if that roster expands only to like
Wait, hold on, hold on.
fill out the
I'm
edges.
sorry. Did they have? They do. They have Cole twice.
Yeah, they have good Cole and they have Cole and evil Cole.
Well, I mean, it's just like there's like Samus and Dark Samus and Pit and Dark Pit.
I know, and it's not fair to compare. It's a totally different situation. But when you look at like the Smash character selection screen now,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like, and I don't even really like Smash that much, but I respect what goes into it. It's packed with stuff.
So Emmett Graves
I've
is from
said-
Starhawk. Just so you know.
I've said a bunch of times, but like I really wish Sakurai had the time to make another Kid Icarus Uprising equivalent game, because I feel like his creative talents are almost wasted on
I agree.
Smash. I mean, he is an outstanding game creator, and I would love to see him not have to just do that all the time.
Man, it's a shame that this didn't work. 'Cause I like this stuff. Like, I like what this is going for aesthetically here in the game, not the UI, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think after Smash Ultimate though, like basically nothing else has a chance at doing something similar, especially since they brought in characters from other companies and stuff.
I mean, the closest thing is like, Marvel versus Capcom or whatever, like of some sort of all-star thing that actually does succeed. There was
it seems weird, and like so Raiden comes in and in this game he goes, "Now I'm pissed." That's what he just said. He's like, "Now I'm pissed."
I don't remember him saying anything like that in Metal Gear Rising.
It just seems weird, like it's a weird. I don't know. It seems unnatural, like with the background playing in like Parappa the Rapper's stage, fighting against Ratchet and Clank.
There was $2 from David again, saying John just lit major controversy. Don't like Smash.
I don't think
I mean-
so.
I'm kind of the same way. I like to just I like seeing what's in it, but I don't so much like playing it.
I don't actually like playing it.
Yeah.
It's like I just like the content browse. I
Yeah,
never found it
exactly.
that satisfying to play. It's just there's some. I don't like this knocking people off the stage mechanic and the way it feels. Like it's something wrong about it to me.
I mean, I used to really enjoy it, like in the N64 and GameCube days, but like more recently, like I mean, I like it well enough, but I'm kind of like Corey, where it's more like it's just interesting to see what all is in it and how they package it together. I mean, all that stuff is really fun, but I just, like Mario Kart is like my main. Is like the main competitive game that I get much out of these days. Like I really like Mario Kart, but Smash, it's fine, but I feel like at this point someone else could make the next Smash. Like don't waste Sakurai's talents on that. He can do so much more than just Smash.
Thinking about this, I feel like with the popularity of battle royale style games today, I could actually see them taking this idea and applying it to something like that. Like,
Oh yeah,
like a Fortnite style game, but it's like, it's bringing characters from all your franchises together. And they have like abilities that like correspond to those games. And I'd be curious to see what could be done there.
I mean, it would obviously be like appealing to a company like Sony from a financial standpoint, in that there would be limited licensing that they would have to do to actually get all these characters in the game, whereas like Fortnite has they have like a ton of characters from a ton of different stuff, but there's licensing involved.
Yeah. Oh, I see somebody mentioning they prefer Power Stone over Smash. I do too, but
that's fine.
I think they're so different that I wouldn't really even compare them. Like, they're both colorful character fighting games, but Power Stone is its own thing for sure. And this is bizarre. This Loco Roco intro with all these characters.
It's kind of fun, but I mean,
I
then you got
because
Sweet Tooth in there.
It looked like at first it looked like you were actually playing Loco Roco.
Yeah. There's a couple of super chats. Since we're
Not that many.
Oh,
There was 10,
still-
10. Yeah, there's just a couple. I'm not like way behind, is what I mean.
I see.
That's good.
There was 10 pounds from Cleaver Slips saying, I won my PS3 at a Mortal Kombat launch event.
Ah.
Since then, it has only really been used to play PS1 games via HDMI easily. Although my new
Alright.
copy of X-Files has weird artifacts on the selectable icons. I wonder if it maybe it's 480i with like some deinterlacing artifacts or something, or maybe it's one of those games that has some glitches. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I talked about it on your stream. I've talked about it on our streams before too, about how I got my PS3 because I randomly won like $800 on a slot machine in Atlantic City on my bachelor party weekend, and then I took 700 of it and set it aside for the Metal Gear Solid 4 80 gig system.
80 gig when they introduced Rumble into the controller, the
Yeah.
DualShock 3. Oh yeah, because Rumble was not a next gen feature because they didn't want to pay that money.
There was $2 again from Goodnight Irene. Thank you. Saying check out Dream Mix TV World Fighters on PS2. Not familiar.
Oh, is that the one that has like is it like Takara or something like that? All the these it has like Optimus Prime in it and stuff.
Oh, yes, I know the one. Almost done.
Yep.
Oh,
I just want to see what the next level is going to be, and then 48
Going to
seconds.
bed.
And I'll-
oh yeah, check it out.
Is this Metal
Say
Gear
hi to
Ray
everybody.
like
Hi.
an item?
Hey, how's it going?
That someone got collected or something, or is it just
It's just part of the
a weird
stage.
stage element?
What's that?
I ran real fast, that's why.
Oh, you ran really fast. Okay.
There was $2 from Paul Sutton saying the only good Smash is Smashing Drive. I'm not familiar.
Whoa,
Yeah,
smashing drive. That's funny.
Terminated.
10 seconds left.
I do like how like the background changes again, like that,
Yeah,
like,
it's-
kinda
that's,
breaks through the stage.
Such a weird contrast, you know?
Hey, Smash doesn't do that, does it? Like when you pick a stage theme, it stays that theme, doesn't it?
I think there is some mode where you can like go where it transitions to another stage, but I want to say that they kind of cheat with it. Like I think like the screen goes white for a moment
Oh, yeah.
while the next one loads
It's-
in.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean
what
the gameplay doesn't stop, but like you know it's not a totally seamless transition.
Oh, look
Or-
at this.
or-
That's
Sort of integrated.
so. This is based on
Oh.
the. That's kind of neat.
Killzone 2.
Oh, I didn't know Ape Escape Spike was in this.
Yeah, I said that when I was going through the characters. I was like, oh, it's got Spike from Ape Escape in it. Like that's.
I feel like Ratchet looks too angry in this.
He
Well,
does.
I mean, you know, you got a
He is
game where
angry.
Parappa the
He's
Rapper can
fighting,
hold
dude.
a rocket launcher in the tutorial. You know that there's some serious anger going on in this behind the scenes.
yeah, they're
It's
I like it. Yeah, there's a lot to like about what they were trying to do here. It's not good enough.
Isn't
Yeah.
there a PS3 version of this?
that's what I'm playing the PS3. There's a Vita version.
Or, I meant PS4.
Yeah.
No,
There's no. It's Vita and PS3.
Oh, okay.
The Vita port's awesome, by the way, in terms of like it's a native resolution 60 FPS game.
Really?
Yeah,
It's
I mean, I didn't.
it's very clear looking. It looks great.
I don't
but
have
it's, you
that.
know-
I mean, I didn't redeem my disc benefits, so I might have to claim my disc benefits another way.
There was
I did redeem that.
there was $2 from Mitch B saying the final boss of this was nuts. Was it like the final boss of Astro's Playroom?
Oh,
yeah, that kind of makes
was
me
a-
want to. I'm gonna play through. And
Dude, that final boss of Asher's Playroom was fantastic, wasn't
yeah.
Mm,
it? What an amazing thing.
such a fun little game. First platinum trophy that I got since Infamous Second Son.
The ape is like just like stuck in the cage here. You can't get it out.
Saru can't get you.
Saru, 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 get you.
That's such a like when I first learned that the Japanese title of Ape Escape is Saru Get You, like I was just in awe of what an incredible name that is. Like such a good name.
That's right.
Saru.
Let me just.
Get
I'll just beat this level and then I'm gonna wrap up for the day. This has been a lot of fun. I mean, if there's something really fun about Friday afternoon, or rather,
I
almost
agree.
like Friday morning streams, we should do it more often.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, do you feel, Corey, that PS3 nostalgia has finally struck for you?
No, not especially. I mean, I'm not sure if it
But you
will.
seem to be having fun with it.
No, I think it's really fun to revisit a lot of these games because it's been so long.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't say that I'm nostalgic for like this time at all,
No.
but I think it's fun to revisit some of these games. It's been a long time since I
It's
have.
the early stuff that I have some more nostalgia for, I guess.
Yeah.
The early, even though those were the worst days of the PS3, it was an interesting time.
There was
Big Daddy, it's
£2 from Spartan 2 saying Kung Fu Chaos with 4-player couch co-op was amazing.
Is Kung Fu Chaos the same thing? It's not the same thing as Ragdoll Kung Fu, is it?
No. Kung Fu Chaos was the first game from Ninja Theory on the
Really?
Xbox. Yeah. It's also one of the few Xbox games that only runs in 480i mode.
Huh?
So
Why the heck do I know that? I don't know. Man. That's-
really quick, let's just like the stuff that I have, like that I've purchased. I mean, there's so much stuff that's been delisted at this point. Let's see if there's. Let me just like look through real quick to see stuff that is no longer on there. Like I know that Afterburner Climax isn't. Someone's saying
Yeah.
that NBA Jam on
So.
Fire Edition isn't on here anymore.
oh no.
Of course, Scott
I haven't
Pilgrim.
I haven't kept up on what's delisted, to be
Yeah,
honest.
me either. Me either.
Remember
Marvel vs.
Shank?
Yeah, I have Shank and Shank too.
Oh, Shank 2. Shank
Really? Those are
Carter.
delisted?
No, Shank isn't.
No.
I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is. I don't know if. Let's see. This version of Mortal Kombat 2 is. Because after they came out with a collection. I just downloaded the early version of Skullgirls because it was still an option, even though Skullgirls Encore came out. But I bet your Rock Band Blitz isn't on there anymore. I know that
Probably
Marvel vs.
not.
Capcom Origins is not. That's Prince of Persia Classic. That's definitely still on there, but
Yeah, no doubt.
but yeah. So I think that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for our. It's 3 o'clock here, so I guess
I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
I'm
here.
hungry. It's 9 p.m., so
Ooh, late dinner for you, huh?
Oh, gee.
it's all good, though. We were playing some triple.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
good. Can't go
Um,
wrong with the triple, the PS triple.
Thanks to everybody who hung out and donated on this lovely Friday afternoon, and we'll
Yes,
see everybody
indeed.
on Sunday night at our normal
That's
time.
right.
And thanks, John, for hanging out.
Of course.
And
Thanks for having
Audie,
me.
you were missed.
That we could do this. Yes, we missed Audie. Next time.
Next time. All right, everybody. Have a good day.
See ya.
See ya.